Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to episode 4 of the Ready Up podcast. My name is Niall. As always, I will be your host. Joining me today, we have the bald bearded bruiser, Bobby. And following up, we have our own national treasure, X-Spot, Ciaran. What do you say, guys? Say hello.
AKA Captain Fluidity, mate.
Sorry, AKA Captain Fluidity.
That's
So any
the new
game
one.
that Ciaran's plays, that's the only word he has to describe it. Fluid or fluidity. This is your first time listening. The Ready Up podcast is a weekly gaming podcast where we talk all things games, what we've been playing, what's news of the week, and anything from the rumor mill. This week, I believe we have 9 items on the list of news. So before we get started, what we're going to do is just chat a bit of shit and see how we're all doing. Over to you guys. Bobby, talk to me. How is things? How are you doing?
I'm busted. I'm only after a big feed there. Do you know what? You told me to get the pork belly.
Highlights. Yeah.
Wasn't nice.
What? Why?
It had that smoky taste, but it was like smoky oven, like dirty oven taste.
Oh, okay. Dirty
So it
oven.
wasn't nice. I don't like. Maybe we don't. We've never had a dirty oven, but like a smoke, if it smokes up, like a bit of cheese falls in the bottom of it. It just smokes everywhere. It's rotten.
Ugh,
no, it wasn't
fucking
nice.
sounds nasty. There's a bit of cheese in it. It was just distasted dirt.
It just tasted like fucking dirty soot
What you get for the main? That's the main question.
steak,
Ooh. What? How do you
Which
take
was
your
fine.
steak?
medium.
Medium. You're like myself. Funny enough, see, actually, steaks. I didn't have my first proper steak until like 2014 because my mum used to cook them in the oven, and what would happen is it would start curling up on itself because it was that burnt.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of put me off for years. Anything new
was like
happening,
me.
ways?
No, I've been playing some games or game.
Game. Wonder what it
In
is,
particular?
guys.
I've been playing some games and still trying to complete them.
I don't know. I'm in a weird mood at the moment, guys. Like I'm kind of like, I don't know what to play here. I'm kind of in a weird mood. I'm in a weird transitional phase, like almost like when a guy becomes a woman kind of phase. I don't know what's going to happen next. I could look down one day and there could be anything. That
You know
could
what
be
I think
it.
it is?
What?
I think you're burnt out on the AMC.
I actually 100% am, mate. I have had to take a break from 5. I'm completely burnt out.
Yeah.
It's just not enjoyable at this stage anymore. It's like when you go drinking and the first night's quite fun, but then by the second night, everyone still wants to drink and you don't want to. But then by the third night, you're just a shadow of yourself. That's me. What about you, Ciaran? Obviously, you're back to work now.
After some time off, laid up. Aye, no, it's been grand being back, to be fair, but I'm enjoying gaming and doing this, so I can't complain too much.
It's a very weird week, isn't it? Like, I don't know. It's just, see, with this fucking editing, I'll tell you what, anyone who wants to watch my edits, go on YouTube and TikTok and watch them. They fucking took the life out of me. It's taken hours and it's just, I'm not even joking. I feel so tired just from being on the computer so much. And Lindsay's like, you're not meant to be downstairs in fucking days. I just haven't left. And it's fucking
That's like me normally.
And the snow as well. It's so fucking cold over here, or up here anyway. So I don't want to do anything. But I want to get some games into me. I'm going to play. I have a few games that you can actually help me later on because I need to figure out what to play, and I don't really know what I want to play. Bobby, you piqued interest before spoken, to be honest, when you mentioned that. So I'm kind of like, but we'll see.
If I get yourself on Rise, it's one that's on your list. Bring it in now.
How long is it?
I don't
What
think it's that long.
8-10 hours, if even.
Something like that. You can probably blip through it.
Well, I put on Sunset Overdrive and I put it on for about 10 minutes and I was like, I am not in the mood for this. And guess what? Did you notice who does the voice of the main character in Sunset Overdrive, Bobby?
No, I haven't played it long enough to even find out.
I was playing it and I was thinking that voice is very familiar. It's the same guy. It's Yuri Lowenthal or whatever his name is. He
Oh,
does
is it Yuri,
Spider-Man.
is it?
I was like, this sounds like Spider-Man. It fucking is Spider-Man.
Aye.
There you go.
No, I've actually tried to play it a couple of times, and every time I've got about like you said, 15 minutes in, and I've like I'm not in the mood for this at all. But I think it's one of them games maybe that you actually just force yourself to play, and then you'll probably get into it maybe about the 1 hour to 2 hour mark.
Sometimes that's the hardest part, isn't it? Like you just find a game that you want to sit down and play because I'll play a game and I'll get bored and I'm like, oh, I'm just not in the mood. I think
I
I'm kind
think
of
it's
going
more it's more tutorials and stuff like that because you're doing the same thing over and over again, even though you know how to play it. Do you know what I mean? It always seems to sort of it like
You
slowly
probably just played
slows you
a lot of
down the-
tutorials. So haven't you?
That's
Because
about all I
usually
play at
that's
games. I don't even
probably-
complete them.
Yeah. Don't even complete the tutorial.
No, I'm done with this. But do you not think it's the same stuff in the first sort of mission or so, or first 2 missions of a game, where it's the same nature, and then it sort of kicks in and you go, fair enough, okay. And then you get bought in.
Yeah, pretty much. And then it's like, oh, things start getting better. I don't know. I just don't know what to dedicate time to. I'm kind of like, yeah, I really want to play. See, I was in the mood before Devil May Cry to play a gameplay game, but I kind of don't know if I still am. I'm kind of like, I even want to focus. Sometimes you get in the moods where you just don't even want to focus on something. You just want to lie back and watch, which is where we end up going to a TV show. So I don't even know. I'll think about something. I have a few things that are downloading, but we have Dead Space this month. I want to get that a go, depending on how obviously things are. So I'm going to start for once, just because for a change. So in terms of what we've been playing this week, I think everyone obviously knows I have went balls deep into Silent Hill 2. I'm going to ask this, and I say this every week, and if you do listen to the podcast every week, you're going to have the same answer, betting. Have any ever played a Silent Hill game?
No,
No.
Oh my god.
because they scare me.
That's right. These guys don't like horror games. So what is this? Just out of interest, what's the scariest game you guys have played? I'm finished.
Dead or beat?
Beat
Finished? Right, last.
1 or 2.
1. I've got about halfway into 2, but I never picked it up again, which I will do. No, it's fucking the first one scared the bollocks out of me, but then I learned it, and then I think I've beat it maybe about 10 times because I went back to do there's like an insane mode where there's a trophy or achievement attached to it. You have to do it without dying, but if you get caught once, you're dead. And I've always got it near enough the end, and then the big bastard gets me, so I give up after a while.
Yeah, I could fucking imagine so.
Yeah,
What about
especially
you?
one touch, you're dead.
Can you play any?
No, I was showing Resident Evil when I was a younger child and shit myself. Resident Evil, done it, yeah. That's what we're going with. And then recently played Phasmophobia, and I would say that's probably the scariest game I played.
What
It
is
scared
it?
the balls out of me.
Like, why do you hate horror games? I don't get it.
It's the environments and the music that gets me. It's the suspense build up, and my heart and all goes like a dinger.
That's
And the next
part
thing
of
you
the
know, I'm
fun.
just like, no, it's not. I don't want to have a heart attack, mate, while I'm in the middle of playing a video game.
Right, fair enough. You can understand because you don't like horror films, but Bobby, that is fucking
Weird.
bizarre. Why do
It's
you not?
weird for me. I don't know. I think it's them games that you get chased in really do it for me. Like, see, once I just put the controller down and just turn it off. I'm like, no, it's not for me today. But like movies and all, but that's my favorite genre. Anything with ghosts or horror, blood, everything, I'm all over it.
See, I
I'll
get the
tell
getting
you-
chased. I don't obviously
I
that,
can't stand it. Can't fucking
I don't even
stand
like
being
that.
chased.
And I like horror games because that's just fucking proper anxiety. You would love actually. See, if you play Resident Evil 2, mate. Well, I've said this before. When you're getting chased by Mr. X, you hear his footsteps all around you. You're like, what the fuck? What's happening? What were you going to say?
Well,
Kieran?
I'll tell you how bad I am with horror games. Metal Gear Solid 2, coming up to the end of it,
Oh, for fuck's sake!
starts
That's
doing
not a
things.
horror game.
It's not,
Is it?
but have you ever played Metal Gear Solid 2, Bobby?
No, but I'm pretty. It's not a horror game, though, is it?
It's not a horror game. It's a certain part at the end of it starts getting a wee bit antsy for me, and I turned my PlayStation off over it because I thought it was possessed.
There is one that I threw the controller at someone else and told them to take over, but they wouldn't do it, and it was PT. Did any of you ever play PT in
course
the
I did.
PlayStation?
See,
course.
mate, I couldn't. I
beat it.
downloaded.
PT is amazing, mate. Funny that you're
It was
mentioning it.
so good.
When I was doing
So
the
good.
clips for that Silent Hill, I was going to use some PT, and the fucking scenes in it, mate, of that woman Lisa is creepy as fuck. Still, I was like, that would have been so
They've
good.
done the whole like what was it where they do like a free camera and she's apparently always there,
Mm-hmm.
like always
I
like
seen
kind of
that.
behind you.
That was great though. I'm
Fuck that.
raging about that.
Yeah, that would have like I didn't know what it was or anything, or it was meant to be Silent Hill obviously until you beat it and you find out. But fuck, it was good. It was
Oh.
tense.
That's right. The whole at the end, Normus Reedus was walking and says Silent Hill.
Yeah.
That was like the twist. That was class, mate.
It was.
See, with Silent Hill, I have history with it. So my first Silent Hill game, I would have been primary school, but I couldn't play it. It was too hard because you know it's that type of game like Resident Evil with the puzzles and all, but it's a bit more obscure. Because when you're running about the town, really what happened back in the day was the PlayStation 1 couldn't render any big draw distances really. So they covered it up by having fog, which is a smart idea, but they've kept it throughout obviously the rest of them. I got my dad to play Resident Evil, and I used to, or Silent Hill, and I used to watch him. So that was kind of my history with that. I actually had two, but never really played it. But then I played it back in, would have been HD remaster. You're probably talking 2011, 2010. Now, an interesting story. I told you this, Bobby. I had the voice actor of James Sunderland and another woman, Maria. I think Maria, on Facebook. So I don't know. I must have added him somehow, and he was like, he accepted it, but he would always comment onto my statuses and stuff, and I was like, that's fucking weird. It's the guy from Silent Hill just randomly writing on these fucking statuses and so on. But it is a good game. It's fucking creepy, but what I will say, playing it nowadays, it's nowhere near as scary as it once was, because it actually gives you a lot of ammo and things. It's not one of these games where it's like Resident Evil where you have no ammo and you're like, I can't progress, you know what I mean? So if you guys are ever trying to go back through them, Silent Hill 2 is a good place to start.
Games with ammo and stuff I can do. If I can kill every fucker that comes at me, that's fine. Like I played Evil Within 2.
Yeah.
Beat it.
Evil Within 1 was
I enjoyed
good.
it.
1 was good.
I must go back and play the first one, but I played the second because that came the
Game Pass.
FPS boost
Oh,
on the Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
So you could play it at 60. I thought, fuck it, I'll go and play that there. So I enjoyed it because I could kill the bastards.
They're fucking weird,
not for me.
these old Japanese horror games, like, you know, because you find a thing that's called the Lauren key or something, and it's like, open this random box, you know, like Resident Evil and all does it. It's just very fucking strange the way they've done them. But it has those has tank controls, which is definitely a fucking blast from the past. Has your tank controls. I actually said that in the wee video I talked about, and then those fucking camera angles that Resident Evil had.
Hate them.
Yeah,
Can't stand them.
No.
Devil May Cry 1 done it as well, where it's kind of set camera angles and you're running.
Did it?
Yeah, it did. It was a bit of annoyance, but
How many times did you jump off something you weren't supposed to because the camera angle changed mid jump?
I don't think I think it was fine.
No. I've done that a few times where you're pushing one direction and all of a sudden the camera angle changes and then you go the other direction.
No, it's not
You
so
fall back
bad.
down again.
Do you remember Tomb Raider's fucking not camera, the controls? Jesus Christ. You were like walking one step ahead and walking back, and then she does a backflip, and you're thinking, what the fuck's going on? No, look, see with Silent Hill, I think 2 being remade is going to be a lot better than it is. Like, I did kind of praise it in the game, saying it's a must play. Now, it is fucking good, but it's extremely dated. You're getting chased by fucking Pyramid Head and things in it, but it's just, like I said, it's the same with Devil May Cry. They don't make games like that anymore. To be fair, Resident Evil 7 kind of was a blast from the past. Like, it felt like that, but I don't know if I'm going to beat it, and that's the truth. It's actually a short game, but I've played enough and I'm like, you know what, I remember a lot of this. I might just wait until the remake rather than play it and then the remake gets released next year, and I'm like, meh, I couldn't be bothered. So that's really what I've been playing. In terms of what I'm going to play next, I have no idea, so we can get into that in a bit. But what's your suggestions? Do you think Rise, Ciaran? Now, the trick is I want to play something on console.
Xbox, Game Pass.
But it's very FPS.
Hina,
Don't know. I'm not in the mood for that. I just look at him like,
what are you in the mood for?
I don't know. I might play Sekiro.
Last stop.
Sorry, what?
Last stop.
Last stop to what? Never heard of this. What's last stop?
It's you like Telltale games and stuff, don't you?
Yeah.
Choice ones. It's one of them. That's very good.
On Xbox?
So it's on both. I think it's on Game Pass and it's on PS Extra.
And it's seen as well. Do you know what just came out recently? That what's that fucking Japanese one called? Persona 4 and 3.
Persona 4 and 3. Yeah.
But then again, I'm like, I'm in the
Big
mood for
games.
these 100 hours dedicated, and I'm not going to get the time. So I'm thinking, a part of me saying Sekiro. You know, I last played in 2019. I told you last week about my theory if you can play a game every 4 years. I think I'll dive into Sekiro.
Interesting.
Still have to beat that.
Yeah. Who, you?
You? Have you
Oh, no,
started?
it's not. I'm telling you a lie. It's Ghost of Tsushima I'm thinking of.
You fuck still to start it, haven't you?
No, I started it.
How far
Got
did you
about
get?
4 hours into it. About 4 hours in, 5 hours in. Maybe a wee bit longer, actually.
What made you fall off it? Or is it just the usual? Just kind of.
I have this really bad thing of going and playing too many games at once. And then you end up getting hooked on one and then leaving the rest behind and never going back to them. So I've actually made a point of just playing a game until I'm beating it.
In terms of what you're playing, Ciaran, fill me in.
For me, there's actually 2 I'm playing between. One is Uncharted 3, just to continue on from where I was. And the other, just to get back at it, is Dark Souls 1. So Uncharted 3, I don't know how I feel about it. Started off enjoying it. Now I'm sort of like, nah.
What part are you at?
Just after the castle grounds where you have to use the telescope for the stars and stuff like that.
I haven't played that. Honestly, I don't think I played that in about 12 years, but I remember something about a castle area. So what is it you don't like?
It started off well. I liked all the sort of dramatic twist to the story and then the dynamic cameras and stuff. It was like, oh, I can see what they've done different here with the combat and stuff.
What do you mean dynamic camera? Because you said this to me the other day.
So it zooms out away from you when you're walking around certain places and stuff like that. And it just gives you a wee bit more feel rather than being just as close to you. So it comes away from you and then back in again. But I don't know whether I'm burning myself out and I'm starting to go, but it feels like the game is becoming a wee bit long-winded, where the areas are now like overstaying their welcome before you get to the next area.
How long? How many hours in is that?
48% through, given my save file last night.
See with Uncharted 3, I think it does go a little in the middle, but then it does pick up. I would stay with it. If you're that 50% in, look, you'll blast that in time. I would just play it.
I'll have it done tomorrow.
Yeah, and it does get better. Like you haven't been on the plane yet, have you?
No.
You haven't been on the boat yet, have you?
I think I just came up to the plane in Saudi Arabia or something like that. I think I might be just on that bit, actually.
Unreal scene. And the boat, you haven't touched the boat yet?
No.
You would know about it. Yeah, stick with it. There's big set pieces at start, and obviously are very good as well. And then Dark Souls.
Dark Souls Take 2.
How far are you?
I'm only coming up to, do you know where you face like a golden knight down the stairs? And
Undead Berg. Mm-hmm.
I sort of duped him the day and done a roll off a wall and got round and got the item, then he murdered me. But it's a lot more enjoyable this time around. It was nothing but frustration and wanting to break tables like when I was playing it the first time. Just could not get used to it. But going back and playing it now, something's just clicked where I'm using the shield, I'm blocking and parrying, I'm doing what I need to do, and the mechanics just feel right. And it just, I think I said this to you as well, it just felt really, really clunky. And it really put me in a bad mood when I was trying to play it. But I haven't got frustrated at all yet. But I don't know if it's because I've already played this bit and know what happens.
Could be.
Or I'm just sort of getting used to it because I'm actually playing games for a change rather than in and outing.
So a guy on YouTube started slabbering me saying that he was bragging that he was beating all these Dark Souls games, but he says one is just unfair and it's not fun and it's too hard. And I was thinking, Dark Souls 1's like the easiest Dark Souls game. And the reason being is, you know, the enemies, like your boss's movements, are so much more limited than they are in, say, Elden Ring or anything else. Like, they don't do as much different attacks. So I was like, that just doesn't make sense. And see if you think that's hard. Sekiro is unforgiven because that is completely skill. Like, you can just level up on Dark Souls and you'll just be overpowered. It is an RPG.
Aye.
Like, look at Bobby in Elden Ring. He just used magic on them and took fucking chunks of their health. You could do that with anything, though. Like, see, when I play Dark Souls now, I'm just overpowered because I know exactly kind of build to use and what to level and stuff, but it's just an RPG. So I would go back and beat Uncharted personally, but if you don't want to play it, you don't want to play it, and you know, it's up to you. But Dark Souls, if you are going to play it, gotta get good, son. How far did you get before, Ciaran?
Up to where the Iron Hog sort of thing is, and then I got lost. I didn't know where I was going. So it's, do you know where the pig chases you with the tusks?
Yeah, I know where you go, and then you go up to the parish.
I got lost. Oh, that's right. There's some knight that waits up the stairs when you work your way around, and I just kept getting mauled by them, and just that's where the frustration set in. It was just like, nah, I'm done.
You see that bit that you're talking about where it's like the undead parish?
Mm-hmm.
People go past the hog, and then they fight for 10 minutes, and then they run into the parish without realising, because then it gets really hard. They don't realise if you run to the right-hand side and go down an alleyway, and then down the stairs, it actually brings you to a bonfire. So a lot of people get frustrated, but there's bonfires. You just need to find the bonfire.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, you started again.
I beat the pig. I beat that bastard up the top of the stairs too.
That'll do, pig.
Parried him. Just parry him.
Did you get the bonfire?
No, I haven't found the bonfire. But I beat the pig guy. And I beat the guy up the stairs. That big knight when you go up this wee twirling stairs.
Oh, aye, that one
Massive
you
fucker.
said. It'll be great crack if you go up there, Ciaran,
Oh,
when he
yes,
was
that
live
one.
streaming.
That
Aye.
one. I beat him. I beat him quite easy. I just parried him. Like just it was perfect parries and knocked him out
What did you think
straight
of it?
away.
You like it, Bobby?
I don't know. I think I enjoy Magic.
It's a game for
I'm not
cards.
using Magic, like, but I think I actually prefer using Magic. I prefer staying really sort of a wee bit more away from them.
Oh God, what's up to
It's-
you? Each their own. Put it that way.
I'm going to continue on, but like I got further when I was playing on the Xbox because on the Xbox I beat some crocodile looking big bastard down below.
Oh, that's quite far. The undead. That's down in the depths. Yeah, you beat that.
Is it? I
Yeah.
beat that and stuff, and then I've got a wee bit further than that.
Quite decent. Not too far, like, but at least it's into the game. Like, you're not at the start. A lot of people get frustrated with that part.
So I don't know whether to go back to my Xbox one or continue on with my fresh playthrough because I am quite well, not far like, but I'm well on the Xbox one.
It's either or. It's up to you. You probably, if you go to your Xbox one, you might be thinking, oh, fuck, what do I have here, and so on. Do you know what I mean? What are you leveling on Dark Souls 1?
This second one, the second playthrough I'm doing, I've leveled up strength and dex.
So see, this is what I mean. It gets tricky. So your weapons, and this is where obviously Dark Souls grows. Now, this is probably boring to listen to if you don't like Dark Souls. Certain weapons have a certain, it's called like a skilling attribute. So it'll say like A, B, C, or D. So let's say it's strength and it's a C. If you level that up, it'll get even bigger boost. But if it's a weapon that's an A on strength, if you level that up with your strength, and then you level the weapon up, it'll be even stronger. So there's a lot of things to it. Like I said, it's an RPG, and people don't even realize.
Want to beat it?
Yeah.
Get good, some. You need to.
I want to beat it before Ciaran.
Ciaran will beat it before you, mate. You'll
I'll
probably
beat it
use
this week if you want to play it like that.
You will not beat it
You
this
know what
week.
I got?
You'll,
What?
you'll not beat it this week.
I will.
Bet you
I
can't
want to
beat
hear
it
that
this
next
Push
Friday.
me, I'll beat
Bobby.
it.
week.
Huh?
You'll not beat it this week.
I want to hear that next week. I beat Dark Souls.
Right? And if I do, you have to fucking, I don't know, you have to do something stupid on camera.
I sure no bar.
Don't know what.
I'd be
Shave your
surprised.
beard.
That's it. Both of you
Shave
shave
my
your beard.
Not a chance.
Beard versus beard. Who can beat Dark Souls?
That's actually a good one. Fresh playthrough. You're both in the same area, to be fair. Kinda.
He's only about an hour ahead of me. Look,
Yeah. Is this are we doing this?
I haven't even
I'm
played
not-
for that long.
not shave my beard off, though.
For fuck's sake.
not
Maybe
not a
beard.
chance. The beard's come.
So,
None there.
you want to talk a bit more about what you've been playing, Bobby? Obviously, we know because you've been teasing it all day. Hit us with it.
Yeah. So, Ciaran, you made a wee statement last week. What was that statement?
Forza is better than Gran Turismo because it's more fluid.
Because it's more fluid. So I decided to give Gran Turismo a go because I've never played it, the new one, see what it was like and compare it to Forza. I also played some Forza 7. I don't need to play Horizon because I think it's a different sort of racing genre, and I've played plenty of it anyway. But so started GT7. The start of it puts you into some music race. Do you remember this now?
Yeah, kinda. Something about it.
That's so stupid.
It's not when something's downloading or something.
No, it's a music. It's some sort of music beat track thing,
Yeah.
and you have to go and keep the music going
I just
by
quit.
going
I
fast.
think I
to the
just
thing.
press start and quit. And you can just get out, quit it.
Well, I was going to quit, but I decided to keep going because I was trying to get used to the game mechanics and then take like assists off and change kind of the steering, because whenever I was steering, it was just kind of like kickbacking straight away. It
Right.
wasn't natural.
Oh, was
changed it all
was it
about.
baby steering for you? Was it?
No, I wasn't doing it. I turned all the assists off. There was it was like some kind of fight back the car was doing with me, but it
Right.
wasn't. It doesn't feel natural. Do you know if you're going around a corner and then you turn again and then the car will kind of fight with you?
Yeah.
But it was near enough like an elastic band was coming back. It was really fast.
Right.
It wasn't natural, so I turned that off and I got that all sorted. And then I got into the game. You go into you've got this big hub world.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's kind of like a map, and it's a bit overwhelming when you first start it, because there's loads of these icons everywhere, and you don't have a clue what
Did
you're
it
doing.
not take a while to appear though? Like certain ones only appear after certain races.
They do. I'm going to get to that there. So you start off. You've got the used car dealer where you had to go buy your first car, which is they're all terrible. You only get a good choice. Like I think it was
I like
some
that.
sort of fucking. Do you?
Yeah, like do you not remember? Like actually that's kind of my problem with Forza Horizon, because you start with a fucking unreal
Really?
car. I like the sense of progression going from shit to good.
No, and no, actually, before I even got that there, I had to watch a 10-minute fucking video
This is a problem.
about some stupid fucking car thing. There was loads of these cars going over, and then all these Japanese names coming up. Obviously, it's the developers, but it's so boring. And I was like, I'm pressing the buttons. This isn't skipping, and I'm literally there for 10 minutes.
I think you just get PTSD.
That pissed me off.
Yeah, it's bad.
That wasn't a good impression.
I googled that. I was like, how do I get out of this? Because it's that bad.
You've time to Google it anyway. You've time to do fucking go out for a fucking walk and come back and it's still fucking playing.
40-hour shift. And came back, was still playing.
Me. But anyway, yeah, so I got into it. You've got the main wee place in the middle. You've got your used cars where you go and pick out of 3 like really awful cars.
Yeah.
So pick one. And then you go to the cafe or cafe, whatever the fuck it's called.
Cafe.
And yeah. it's spelled with an R in it though.
Well, the Japanese people make it.
Is it? Right, well fucking
Cafe.
Right. I was going to do that. So you go to the cafe and you get these wee menus. And the basically this I like. So this is one of the things I like about it is the menu. So it gives you like wee tick boxes to go and get. So you have to do these 3 races, collect these 3 cars, and that completes the menu.
Mm-hmm.
And then after you complete the menu, then you get another fucking stupid like 5-minute video on the 3 cars that you just picked up. Which I don't like that.
Some people might though. Like you have to think that.
Some people might. Yes, that's what I'm going. Yeah, some people will like that. They're all the ones that's like really enthusiastic about. I really want to know about this really shitty Honda Jazz, and then and then they'll get all the details for it. But it's not for me. So you have to keep on pressing X to get the fucking comp to go away, and then it gives you another menu, which is fine. That bit I like. I like checking the boxes and getting all the cars and things like that, and doing the races to get them. I don't like the whole description. I'd like to be able to skip that completely.
Maybe an accessibility option for you.
There is what's the word? Transactions you can make with real money to buy currency.
Yeah,
I don't like that. Yeah, I don't like that at all. I seen that there when I went on to buy a car. I was like, I've only got a certain amount of money, whatever it is, and then below it you just see the PlayStation Store where you can buy credits.
Yeah. So
that shouldn't be. I think there was a bit of controversy about that there when the game first came out.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all. There's no need for that there. Like the money you earn is awful. So they do like this wee roulette system as well. So you can get like a roulette ticket, and Forza Horizon and all does this as well. They do the wheel spins. Have you just played it?
Yeah.
So you get Forza is quite generous, and it'll give you these wheel spins, and then you've also got super wheel spins, which gives you a lot more. So the Gran Turismo one gives you these options of there's like a car, there's a wee tiny coin pile, like a wee fucking tiny one like that size, and then you got a bigger one, and it rotates round. Now I got 5 or 6 of these cards, and it give me the wee fucking tiny pile every single time.
That's not right. Sauce, isn't there, hanging in there as well? There's a car parts, is there not? So
you'll get car parts, or you can get cars, or you can get like a big pile of money, or you can get a wee tiny fucking pile. And I got the wee tiny pile every single time. Like, that's telling me something. Like they're doing that on purpose to try and get you to spend more money on it.
Of course they are. That's what they all do.
Which is stupid.
Yeah, it is.
But like, give me the big pile of money, or give me a fucking half decent car instead of driving around. I'm driving around like a fucking 66 Mini at the minute. You know what I mean? And then go and upgrade it. So you have to pay fucking me more money. You have to use your money to go and upgrade them cars, which your money's already scarce at the minute. So you can't even go buy another car. So
isn't there like a requirement to get into certain races? It's like, oh, your car should be 260.
Yes, your car, or your car needs to be Japanese and front wheel drive and things like that. So I had a Mini, and it was one of the wee menu quests, or from the cafe, and I had to go and upgrade it to 400 something PP, because I think that's our scale.
That's it. Yeah,
so done it. And then I went into the race, and it was showing me my real main rivals. And I'm going against the fucking Honda Civic. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I've no money left. I've no money to buy a new car.
You unlock cars though.
Aye, you unlock cars, but you have to fucking fight to get to that point, like, because you got no money.
Because you have to fucking. I find the difficulty.
You have to upgrade a Mini.
Yeah.
And then you're against a fucking Honda Civic.
Maybe just not good enough there, Bobby. I didn't think it was too bad.
Still won.
Maybe it's just a burning question though.
The racing itself isn't bad. It once took off all them stupid assists. Now, what I will say is, I like the braking assist, not assist. Sorry, the braking line.
Yeah, I took it off.
But it's not a braking line in Gran Turismo. It's just this wee red thing that comes up in the back of your fucking car that says braking, and it just flashes last minute. Whereas the Forza one kind of shows you in advance a wee bit where your braking line needs to be. Whereas this just fucking flashes at the back a wee bit.
No, I think there is an actual braking line.
No, there's a driving line.
Right. Is it not
Right,
color
but-
coded though? Color graded?
No, it's all yellow.
Yeah, maybe.
And
I'm
then the
wrong.
braking pops up like where the registration plate would be. It just pops up kind of last minute, and it's really, really fucking small as well. I have a 55-inch TV, and it's tiny, just right below where the reg is. So don't like that either compared to Forza.
Are you playing in
Forza-
driver? What do you play? See in the car or drive? Or
I usually drive in the car or
Yeah.
else outside the car sometimes if I want to have a look at the graphics and stuff like that there.
Yeah.
One thing I said about the graphics, and I said this last week, I think, was they're very arcadey looking.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Forza has more realistic graphics, I think, and even Forza 7 I went back to play, it looks more realistic than Gran Turismo does.
What about
Nah,
have you
Gran
played in the
Turismo-
rain?
Yeah,
That's the one
played the
thing. I was like, well, that's
Night-
class.
Night looked very good.
Uh-huh.
I like the when I was racing at night, but it's still got that kind of arcadey look
Yeah.
compared to. I feel like Forza's a bit more real. Like it looks good, it looks stunning on the TV and stuff,
Mhm.
but it is more of arcadey. I find compared to Forza, like Forza Horizon 5 came out last year. No, sorry, 2 years ago now,
Mhm.
and graphic wise, it fucking blows Gran Turismo out of the water.
Forza Horizon 5, did you say, sorry?
Yeah,
Yeah.
blows it out of the. Have you played Forza? Have any of you played Forza Horizon 5?
That'll be bad. Dabbled.
Yeah.
I haven't. Like, it's
No.
the problem I have is just you're too overpowered early, and it's not. I don't like. It's hard to get hooked.
Yeah,
For me.
that's Horizon, not
Yeah.
Forza Motorsport. You're not.
I know.
But
Forza
Horizon,
Motorsport I played
yeah.
5 maybe
Yeah. Well, fuck, that was a couple ago. The
Oh,
last
it's
one was 7.
2015. Did you try the license mode?
Yes, and I had to stop because that would be something that I would get into.
Oh my god,
And
boy. I
I
loved
would
it.
sit and see. I would sit there. I wanted to do some more races so I kind of have a
Did you?
comparison to But if I started that and it was like the first one was just race and then stop within the thing, and then you get the gold, silver, bronze medal for doing it. And I started it. I was like, I need to stop us here because I'll get hooked on this.
Oh my god. Man, I've done
That's my kind of thing.
So I don't play driving games. To see when I went to Gran Turismo, I went obviously all assists on, but that makes you so much of a better driver in the game. I found it really
Yeah.
addicting, and I'm not really into driving games, but that was fucking incredible because there's ones and you're like, I need to get 2 seconds off this, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong, and you end up doing it. But I mean, I used to play it during work fucking flat out.
Mhm.
I'm interested like the new Forza. So the question is, if you want to be a big expert and claim the Forza's the king, then you're not allowed to play it in your VR. Which was announced day one, full game in VR as well. GT Sport wasn't like that. That's just announced today, by the way. Or yesterday, one of them. Full games in VR, multiplayer.
I think I like that because I usually do play in the steering wheel and the actual front, like.
yeah, I
prefer
prefer
that
that
there.
steering wheel and all for it. When I played it, I was like, I would 100%.
I would be curious to see how it plays on the steering wheel.
But then you're spunking like 300 quid because you can get it where it's like there's
At minimum.
assistance and all. Aye.
Minimum for a good one, like, because there's no point in buying a cheap one. If you're going to get into it, you may as well get into it.
Mm-hmm.
But I played Forza 7 and I play it on the PC because it's a 2017 game, so I wanted to give it a bit of a late level playing field,
Okay.
and it looks better. It looks more realistic, and this is Forza 7 from 2017 compared to Gran Turismo. Like I said, it's got that arcade kind of that wee plastic sheen to it, in my opinion.
Gran Turismo does?
Yeah.
I can't even remember. I obviously haven't played Forza 7. Now, is that a fair comparison to have it on a game on PC? Even though it is from, well, no,
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
because you may have thought it yourself. Is this a fair comparison? But then at the same time,
I will stick it on the Series X and it'll just look as good on 4K. I'm playing at a lower res as well, so I'm playing at 1440.
I don't
on the
mind.
PC.
I don't know. Like, to be fair, I put on Gran Turismo there, mate, to be honest with you, and I went and did the latest license mode that I done, and I was like, I don't even want to play this right now. But I'm not
Mhm.
biased. Like, I haven't really tried Forza. I remember playing Forza Horizon 5.
I'm not saying Gran Turismo's bad. I enjoyed it and I'm going to continue playing it.
We'll play
But
it when we
compared
get
to
VR, mate.
Forza, I will, but Forza to me is the better racer.
Let me hear it, Bobby.
It's more fluid.
Yes.
What way?
Do you know, see the driving, I genuinely feel the driving does feel more fluid because, like I said about that kind of fight back, it feels unrealistic in Gran Turismo, but in Forza, it flows better. Your braking and all flows better. Your turning flows better. There's there is fight back, but it's more realistic. It feels like you're actually turning the steering wheel with your sticks. Whereas when I'm playing Gran Turismo, it feels like I'm turning and then it's instantly going straight back to the middle. and it's kind of that the fight back, and it's just not as good as Forza.
See, the problem I have when you're thinking about comparing it, because there's so many different assists, like how do you actively compare? Because there may be hidden assists and stuff. Because I remember even on there's certain assists that actual GT players keep on and stuff. So it's like, how do you really compare? Because when they are realistic drivers, it's like it's so fucking granular that you can go into. It is hard to compare. You know what I mean? Where if it's an arcade, you're not going to like Need for Speed. You can downtown say Need for Speed and Forza Horizon and put them as a comparison. But I'm going to try. But when's Horizon? We're thinking what, in the next few months, or Forza
Motorsport?
Yeah.
Say April.
It could be anywhere between March and May, I would say. People are saying, I heard today, I can't remember what podcast I was listening to, but it could be a lot further on than people think. So it could be March.
Yeah. I'm excited to try it.
So I would say between March and May, I'd say we were going to get Forza.
Yeah. Anything else you play?
I can't wait. No, I just wanted to kind of get into that there and explain Ciaran's fluidity.
There you are.
But what I will say is I think PlayStation is missing a Forza Horizon competitor. I think there should be a Gran Turismo equivalent to it. And I think it'll sell a lot more. Because the racing games are like, they're a niche as it is. Forza Horizon kind of, anybody can go and play that and have fun.
It's arcadey.
What did they have before? They had
Project Gotham. They had
that was Xbox as well. Sure, it was
Xbox.
Oh, sorry, I thought you meant.
You had Burnout
Midnight Club, wasn't it?
What?
Midnight Club? That was
Midnight
Rockstar.
Club.
Midnight Club, Rockstar. What did you say? Project. What did you just say?
There was Burnout.
Ciaran, what did you say before Midnight Club? Was it Project Cars? Did you say?
No, Project Gotham. Was an Xbox.
Aye, that was Xbox, and then you had Midnight Club was fucking Rockstar, wasn't it? One of them was Rockstar.
Midnight Club.
No, they had them. There wasn't Burnout. They had one. Motorstorm.
That's for PlayStation.
Motorstorm, but it wasn't. It wasn't like Forza, but it was still kind of a racing. They've done things in the past, and then sure they had that Drive Club, but that was more simulation, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like massive. There was quite a lot of players on it. I think it was quite an open one. There was Test Drive and all as well. The Test Drive games used to be good on like a 360.
Yeah,
they were quite fun.
And then I don't know.
I feel like that's what PlayStation's missing. It's missing that kind of alternative to kind of hype up the Gran Turismo brand.
Yeah, maybe worth a shake. Anyone else? Anything else to add?
Not to that, no.
Forever hold your peace. So what we'll do is we'll get into news, right? Item 1 is the new what way did I say that, right? Is the new Rocksteady title, The Suicide Squad, a live service game? This is a long one. Bear with me, guys. It seems Rocksteady's upcoming Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, could feature live service elements, including a store and battle pass. The information comes from a leaked screenshot of the game 4 months ahead of its release. 4 months? It's coming out soon, actually. Fuck. VGC reports that the leaked image originated on 4chan, and the outlet says it confirmed with its own sources that the image is real. The screenshot shows what looks like the game's main menu, where we can see all 4 playable characters lined up. The left side of the screen shows a chapter select menu, while the bar at the top of the screen shows options including looks, loadout, social, store, and battle pass. This indicates that the Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League could contain live service elements. What's everyone's thoughts?
I'll let Ciaran go first because I went on a wee bit of a rant there, so I need to catch my breath.
Oh boy, fuck.
I hope it's not. If it's cosmetic only, that's fine. But it doesn't look like a game that should have a live service. It looks like a game that should be.
What do you think it's going to be?
In what ways do you mean? Sorry.
Have you seen the screenshot?
So it's very much like a Call of Duty layout or a sort of Fortnite layout where it has your bits and pieces. But it's just, when I was looking at it, and I obviously went and looked at the trailers, it's not a game that I've actually been following, but I actually went and done a wee bit of sort of look into it when I seen this. It just looks like a game that doesn't need to have that type of service on it. Just give us a game that is a game and let us play it, and let us play it online. If that makes sense.
I don't even want to play it.
What would it be that you wouldn't want to see in it?
So I don't want to see, like, microtransactions, or the fact that you have to buy a battle pass to get a cosmetic skin that's not going to do anything and build it up. But then if you're talking live service, that means then you're relying on the game constantly being updated and looked after. Why can't you just play a game that's always going to be there? Do you know what I mean? Other than servers obviously being there if you're playing anything online or co-op. It just feels like it's just going to be a fuck up, if I'm being honest, for them, if they do that, if they go that sort of live service game. Especially after Gotham Knights. Wasn't it Gotham Knights they released there not so long ago?
That was Montreal, wasn't it? Wait, is it Montreal? Is that what they're called? Warner Bros. Montreal?
I think so, yeah.
See, this is my problem with it, right? Warner Bros. Montreal made Origins, 2013? Was actually that was a really good Arkham game, and people forget about it. And then I always remember thinking, well, they're doing another game, wonder what it's going to be like. And then it was fucking that abomination, supposedly, and I hadn't even played it. My problem with this is it's more to be more, obviously it's Rocksteady. You think 2015 was Arkham Knight. In between that time, you've had the likes of BioWare come out and make Anthem, a single player studio, and absolutely balls it up. Then you have fucking Crystal Dynamics, who typically make Tomb Raider, go and make that Avengers game and balls that up, and it's a mess. So there's just a theme, and then when you hear this is a live service, I'm just thinking, fuck me, here it could go again. Now it could be good, but I just don't want to play a multiplayer game when I'm thinking about playing a Rocksteady game. I don't. It's not what I want a Rocksteady game to be. It's like saying, oh, imagine the next GTA was just online. Really, it was really online heavily elements throughout the single player. I was like, no, can I just play the fucking single player game? Now I don't know what the actual state of it is. If there's going to be, I'm assuming if there's a mission list, it's going to be most likely you have a matchmaking, and then you run in with 4 people who play as the characters. It seems to me that's pretty much a given. Now, that's the way Arkham Knights wasn't it? Or whatever it's called. So someone could play as
Gotham Knights?
Yeah, Gotham. Is that the way that was?
See, their main issue was the optimizations of it. It was really bad. It was running really like shit everywhere.
Sure, so did Knights.
Because there's a lot of people that have played Gotham Knights and actually think it's great fun, especially with playing with your mates. It's just the 30 FPS. I was going to bed day one, and the 30 FPS put me off. Now I don't play PC games really unless it's on Game Pass, because I like my achievements and stuff. So I just wasn't going to buy it then. If they patch it for PS5 or Series X, I'll get it, because it does look like something that I could play with my mates. I just can't do it with those fucking stupid Steam achievements and all.
Fuck me. So I'll give you a scenario, right?
Sorry, I did. I tried it.
Right.
Sorry, I completely forgot. I tried it. I played for about an hour, and the combat and all was decent.
How much is the story a focus on it?
It felt story heavy from the get go. The opening cutscene is phenomenal.
Right, because that's what I really like about those Arkham games, right? So what I have I remembrance of is you sitting with there in a multiplayer cutscene, and there's people just not skipping, and they're just, I don't know if what way it'll work. I'm sure they can't just skip, but just things like that, or people just fucking about. It's like, I just want to play the game myself. That's my problem. Now, if you have a player, most likely they'll say, oh, you can have AI. If they say, look, you have AI companions, well then who cares? Whatever, make it live service. I don't care. I'm not too worried myself about that. It's just, if they're making it live service for the detriment of the game, just because of Anthem and Avengers games, I'm a bit like, oh, here we go. But who knows?
I don't.
Does it impact your reason to buy though?
No, I'm day one on this.
Does it impact your reason to buy, or are you still going to buy it in day one?
I'm day one, 100%.
I bought all their games day one, like, to be fair.
So see, looking at the picture, I don't see anything that's going to make it like what you're thinking. The whole games as a service. See, obviously, it's got Battle Pass, but apparently that's meant to be. It's just going to be cosmetics for characters, which I like. So I'm all.
Sure, like the other Arkham games, they were expansions.
I'm all for it. So other things I see here, it's crossplay, because we've got PC and we've got PlayStation. We've got the Battle Pass, which is meant to be cosmetics, and then you've got on the left hand side, you've got all the mission list. So I genuinely think it's just going to be multiplayer. You play with your friends. You've got a Battle Pass. You can buy it if you want. You don't have to. You've got the store. You can buy whatever you want for Harley Quinn or whoever you want. All your different costumes, maybe gun skins and things like that. I don't think it's going to be as bad as people are panicking because of like it's Avengers and stuff. I don't think it's going to be like that. I think it's going to don't think it's going to have like raids and things like that. I think you're going to have your story you play and you join up and you've got your battle pass system.
So what's the replayability?
If you want it. It depends what they do. See, the likes of Back for Blood, I know it's a different kind of game, but they done replayability in the sense that you have the cards and they change the dynamic of the mission every time.
Mm-hmm.
So they could do something. They could throw something like that in to make it harder. They could make different enemies. You could have one where there's a lot more brutes or whatever in it. Just different things to change it up like that. There, I don't think it's going to be a game that you're going to replay constantly. But so the battle pass is probably just for them to make money because people will pay it, like me.
But then see what they've done. So I remember during game the expansion of this, you had the Red Hood edition or the DLC. There was tons of DLC for Arkham Knight. But if that was the case, why wouldn't they just do something like that? So I do think there are obviously plans here of continuing to service the game. So there must be things to have people coming back. So it can't just be play through the story and it's one and done. Now that could be a horde mode. It could be fucking anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, could be anything. I don't think it's going to be as bad as people. I think this game's going to be good.
I think it'll be good. I'm just worried because of what's happened in the past.
I don't, with the likes of Avengers coming out there and failing so badly. I don't think they'll do it. If anything, they would just delay it more until they get it right.
I think what happened with me is I thought Gotham Knights was going to be the multiplayer one. I don't know why I didn't think this was going to be multiplayer, but I think that's why I didn't think this was going to be the multiplayer one as well. So I'd rather they did Gotham Knights multiplayer only and test the waters with that before going, well, sure, what we'll do is we'll take the fucking flagship and change that. You know what I mean?
Has it been said if you can play this game solo or not? I'm pretty sure you should be able to. Well, there's bot. That's actually, it says there in the thing, bots.
So if you can do bots, I don't mind.
Yeah, on the picture here, you've got Captain Boomerang, and then the other three are bots.
But they're not games I really do play for the gameplay either. I know people think that's fucking mad, but the Batman games, even if you think about them ones, they're a bit boring. You go into an area and then you just pick off the people by fucking dropping them off.
They're a bit repetitive.
Do you know what I mean? So I just play them because I like the story and I like Batman. Do you know what I mean? So
I'm interested in the story because I like being the bad person, as you know, in all games. So I'm looking forward to killing the Justice League, hopefully.
I'd be excited for it. I'm looking forward to it as well, but hopefully, well, they're going to obviously be worried about how it's launching with Gotham Knights and things. What are we guessing, by the way? Do you think it's going to be 30 FPS again? Has to be. Is it the same engine?
You think so?
Is it the same engine?
I don't think they'll release it. I think they would rather delay it than release it 30 FPS because that was the big backlash about Gotham Knights at the start on console. 30 FPS. People don't want it.
Rightfully so. What was it? UE4? What engine was that on?
I'm not 100%.
They were usually Unreal engines. So Gotham Knights engine. Gonna guess it was at UE4.
I can't see them doing 30 on this. Like after the backlash, like I think it would be horrible for the game to come out and say it's a 30 FPS game.
Actually,
I would just damage it more.
How the fuck could they not get that UE4 game engine to run at 60, even though, bear in mind, supposedly Gotham or Arkham Knight looks better than the Gotham Knights. You know what I mean?
I stuck Gotham Knights on and I was playing 1440 max everything. I was getting around 90 FPS and I thought it was good.
Fuck, mate, I remember Arkham Knight when it launched. I had the PC and I had a 7080 Ti on it. And it was running at about 50 to 60, but it was an absolute mess. They actually took it off the Steam store and all, mate, and then give everyone free all the Arkham series. It was a fucking mess. Hopefully, they sort it this time. I think it'll be grand. I'm just worried about.
I think it's going to be.
I might try Gotham Knight.
Metacritic.
Bobby, do you want to? What I mean, why don't me and you get Gotham Knights?
Let's see the price. Let's have we look. See,
should we, Bobby?
I'm down for co-op. It's one of them games that I would want to play in co-op. I don't think I would want to do it solo.
Gotham Knights. Let me just check the price on the PlayStation Store. Gotham Knight. Are we talking full price? 64 fucking 99.
Is that how much it is now?
Yeah. What about Xbox, boy?
Maybe
we don't game share on Xbox.
I was going to say, no, maybe wait. It does come on sale every now and again, so it'll probably be in the next sale.
I would be interested to jump in.
Yeah, I'm surprised there hasn't been a 60 patch yet for it.
It's just late. I don't know, but I really rate those developers like Ubisoft. There is an Ubisoft Montreal.
And Rocksteady is fantastic.
Yeah, Rocksteady are phenomenal.
So I have faith in the game. I think it's going to be good, and I'm banned at day one. So you're getting it.
I just imagine like big doom, 1 out of 10. Fucking too many bugs. Too much water. Bobby, it's going to be amazing. Moving on then. Item 2. The Last of Us is HBO's second biggest debut since 2010. HBO's newest show, The Last of Us, had a massive series premiere. The first episode picked up 4.7 million viewers on Sunday night, HBO announced. Then there was an update. 4.7 million people turned in for the debut of the HBO's Last of Us on premiere night. And while that number is exceptionally large, it increased for the for day 2. It's even bigger. So the show that actually is number 1 for breaking the record was The House of Dragons, which is phenomenal. I know, Ciaran, you watched it?
Yeah, I did.
Bobby hasn't. You haven't watched it.
I haven't watched any Game of Thrones.
That's bonkers. Why?
It was South Park put me off it with all the willies.
I haven't seen that episode, but I know about them walking around the courtyard, which is quite true.
They just mentions about loads of willies and stuff. So
Man, you have to watch that. Honestly.
I know it would be something I heard Dad's been telling me to watch it, not for ages. He really enjoyed it, but it's
kind of envious. So at the same time,
it's getting the time to watch, a big long series like that and committing to it.
But at least you have something to watch sometime. You know what I mean? If it does, you're like, fuck, here, I'll watch it. So, fair play to you. So, obviously, me and Bobby did a podcast, by the way, guys. You can watch it on YouTube or listen if you're listening to this on a Spotify or likes down below. Ciaran actually watched it, Bobby.
Did I?
He did.
I'm disappointed.
Let's pickle his head. Ciaran, tell us your thoughts.
I actually really enjoyed it. The way that it sort of relates to the gameplay from what just put up on TikTok, like it's a like for like, initially had me hooked, especially that sort of out of focus scene that was in it, and not the spoil,
Granny in the
but
chair?
it wasn't Granny in the chair. It was,
Spoilers, by the way, guys. We're going to spoil this if we're talking about it.
It was wee things like that, and I was just like, yeah, this is going to get it right. And it sort of got me, and it just threaded. It was just bought in. But it's one of those ones where I was like, are they going to do it, and then it's going to end up terrible because it's based off a game. But even Danielle was sitting watching it, and she was like, it's really, really good. I really, really enjoyed that. So I was like, But that's next on my list. Once I beat Uncharted, to go and play the game, so I'll be caught up on the game.
You'll not do it. You'll not do it because the game is not good. It's not like it is not aged well at all. And you'll be like, you know what, fuck it, I know the story, I'm not gonna play it.
Part 1 remake?
Made I still go back and
the
play?
gameplay's still there. Like it's still dated, it just looks better.
I still go back and play Final Fantasy 7 though and put 100 hours into it, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Aye, but you're already getting fatigue off Uncharted. This is the same, but it's not as good as Uncharted gameplay.
Yeah, I would agree on that. Definitely, to be fair.
The shooting and all is awful in it.
But you can blast it in 7. You can blast it like. But he would love Uncharted. If The Last of Us 2 is a big step up, just in terms of narrative and things. So let's ask him what I asked Lindsay. So, did you expect the death of Sarah, his daughter, at the start? But then
I expected it because I've seen it, because I've seen the gameplay. Spoiled for me, it wasn't. I went and actively looked for it, but I expected it. But I think they've done it really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
I think they've done it really well, actually. And that's the thing, when you look at the side by sides, it's like fair play to them. So if I actually understood the whole game, or if I actually played the whole game, I think it'd be anticipation of going, fuck, I can't wait until this bit happens, or fuck, I can't wait. And I'm sure you're all sitting like that because you know what's going to happen as such.
Yeah, know everything. So what do you think's going to happen? Do you know what's going to happen?
No.
So what do you think the rest of the game's going to be about?
It's going to be about Joel and Ellie making their way to where they need to get to, and trials and tribulations in between, obviously. But I think there's going to be like more zombies and how the infection comes about, and they'll find out more. Be like The Walking Dead, where they sort of keep finding things out.
Do you remember The Village? The film, the M. Night Shyamalan film, where they walk out after, and then they're this Amish kind of setting, and they walk out, and it's just normal world. They're in a cult. Like that. That's what it is. It's all just a big village, mate. And then they walk out, and it's just normal life. That's the twist. You ever seen that film, Bobby? You ever seen that film, The Village? No.
Yeah, I haven't seen it since fucking.
That was the twist.
Whenever it came out. Like,
anyone listening to this, if you know what I'm on about, it'll make sense if you don't like these two. Or it'll just be anyway. Bobby, did you expect it to be so big, Bobby?
Yeah,
Yeah, I kind of thought.
I think it had
I'm
a
not
big
surprised at
following.
all.
You know, the game has a big following.
Yeah,
So I knew it's been heavily marketed like for coming out and with the game and stuff as well. A lot of people maybe trying. The last was part 1, PS5 there in September. Got the excitement up for it. So yeah.
I can't wait.
It's
Episode 2.
expected.
I can't wait. So, Ciaran, I was actually going to ask you something. Have you listened to our podcast about it then, or are you just fucking being rude?
Don't.
No, I'm being
We don't
rude.
support it that much. I actually, because
No, we do.
Declan listened, or I have a mate who listened to it, and I don't think we do. We don't. I say stuff and then
Well, we'll talk about certain scenes and stuff that
I
maybe
just-
that is coming up. So
I know, but
I'm only watching it because I think I'm going to catch up on the game. I'll get the game done before I get the episode
Aye.
3, for example.
I wouldn't.
So,
I wouldn't listen to the podcast
get on. There we go. Job done.
just to be safe.
Anything to add, guys, or do you just want to rest your peace? I'm just burned out in Last of Us talk because we did a 42-minute podcast of an hour-long episode, and we have to do it again on Wednesday. But I enjoyed doing it.
Side by
Tuesday.
side.
Moving on, item 3. Talk of the devil. Silent Hill producer wants more indie companies to pitch Silent Hill games. Whew, this is a big one. The series producer of Silent Hill says he wants to see even more indie studios making Silent Hill games. In a new interview with IGN Japan, Matoyo Okamoto, look at that, was asked about
Good at them.
October's Silent Hill reveal stream, in which a number of Silent Hill titles were announced, most of which are being handled by indie developers. He says there's only so much we can do ourselves, which means we need to work with lots of different indie creators if we want to make lots of different Silent Hills. That's why we made moves to work together with people around the world who want to make Silent Hill games and approached companies like Bloober Team as well as Annapurna Interactive and No Code. Well, you guys aren't Silent Hill fans, but let's think about this. Konami, a company who's literally disappeared for the past 10 years basically, now are taking a franchise and not only just making one game, but are looking everyone to just take the IP and run with it. What's your thoughts?
I love the thought of this.
Well, I hope they don't oversaturate the market with Silent Hill.
My
I'm
problem,
running.
exactly.
There is some indie. I think they said there was a lot of plans and all that didn't go ahead. Obviously, there's more indie developers that did have a game laid out for them, but they didn't take it. I hope there's some out there that make a good one. I don't know who, but there's plenty of indie developers out there that make a banging Silent Hill game. But I just don't hope that they're coming out of their shell with Silent Hill and they're just going to give it to everybody and anybody just to get it out, and then maybe ruin the franchise.
So they've done that. So Silent Hill 1, 2, and 3 were well regarded. The 4 was a bit, I didn't play it but that was just going off. And then what they've done is they give it to Western devs, I believe, for like Silent Hill Downpour and all. And these games were slated. So this is what my problem is. So the first Silent Hills were made by Team Silent in Japan, I believe. And once you start giving it your IP to other companies, it's just, you dilute the market and then it just ends up, no one's going to get the same type of quality as the original guys. So my worries here is if they're going to do this with Silent Hill, fucking God help if they give Metal Gear out to many companies. See if that was about Metal Gear, I'd have a heart attack, because it's just.
I don't know. I think indie studios are releasing some bangers at the minute, though. They're getting games right. If you think of right, let's take Hades for example, which was what it won 9 awards or something in between 2020 2021. And it was an indie developer. What is Supergiant Games?
They've been making games for years. Do you know they made Bastion and 360? They've had a.
But they're classed as an indie. Do you know, even
but the problem I would have is
Stray.
It's getting the right independent developer to do.
What do I call them? Annapurna. Stray. Sure, it was winning awards. The indie games are doing really well.
Annapurna's they're the publisher, just.
Yeah. The problem I have, right? If you said to me, we're going to give, let's say, Bloober Team, so I actually don't, the fact that you give it the Bloober Team is a fucking concern for me. Just to be fair, out of who's going about, they're probably the most ones who are reliable at the moment. But if you give it the guys who make Hades, it's, yes, I get where you're coming from. Indie creators make good games, but there is hundreds of fucking thousands of indie companies that you don't know about that publish every day. You're talking about the ones that do make it, that do well.
But do you not think like indies have the shackles off them a wee bit, where these corporate like if you think of Bethesda's and stuff like that, there's a lot more emphasis on them releasing something huge. Where indies, they have a wee bit more freedom, or they'll have a wee bit more, I'm willing to take a risk.
That was Silent Hill though.
But
Yeah, this is a problem. It's not the indie developers, it's the publisher. So Konami will give them restrictions more than likely rather than go do what you want. So
They have to approve the idea. There was already loads of ideas that have been knocked back.
yeah, so that's where the problem comes. Now, bear in mind, you've had a lot of smaller companies make Silent Hill games. You've had Silent Hill on the Wii being made by smaller companies and stuff.
Yeah.
But this is where it's the quality. So my problem really isn't if an indie developer does it or what. My issue is let's flood the market with Silent Hill, because this is a game that really, the last one hasn't come out in over 10 years. And then you had, look at PT, for example, from what the potential was to now, oh, we're just going to throw it at all indie studios. It's like, get someone to do it and get them to do it right before you start going and just running with the IP.
I think that these ones that's coming out need to hit. If they don't hit, I think there's going to be big trouble. Like
There's
with
some
the
weird fucking
franchise.
looking ones. Now there is.
The Bluebird team on the remake. I think that'll be great.
I don't think they'll fuck. I think they'll do all right in that.
I think they'll do a good job, because I think as far as like reviews are going with their games, the stuff that they're missing is the storytelling stuff and things like that there. So if they stick to Silent Hill 2 and stick to the roots of it, I think they'll make a good game out of it. It's this other one, the one that's kind of in, is it 1800s Japanese or Japan or something like that, or 1960s or something like that.
Silent Hill F.
Yeah. So that's because that's completely new. There's a lot riding on that one, I feel, rather than the remake, because I think the remake will do all right.
Yeah, that's Silent
It's
Hill.
more the new stuff.
Yeah, they're in
I think
Taiwan.
is that who's doing that one?
Neobards. Never heard of them.
Aye.
Games. What have they done? They don't. God, fuck me. Look at their website. It's shocking. That's a bit worrying. Once upon a time. Fuck, they can't even make a good website. God help me with a Silent Hill game. But look, I don't really mind. Like, it's just, I don't really even have a mind if we're going to, even the whole Silent Hill F and they have the Silent Hill 2, I don't mind that. But it's let's start flooding it. And my fear would be is they do that with Metal Gear. Metal Gear just, it doesn't need that same type of treatment, but it's Konami. And they're most likely going to try and do this, I reckon, where they'll have, bear in mind, I reckon we're going to see HD remasters of 2 and such for next gen consoles. But then you'll probably see like a remake, but then you'll see another spin off getting announced and all this jazz. Mark my words. Anything else anyone wants to add into that? And I know you don't really play Silent Hill, and I know you probably won't even be playing the new one.
I will.
There you are.
I won't.
I'll believe it.
You told me there's plenty of ammo and stuff like that, so I'm down to give it a go.
Maybe, well, yeah, no, that one there, like, it's fine, but I don't know what the remake's going to be like. Fuck, they might change it all up, but they said, from what I read, they said they're going to stick really close to it.
Yeah, so if I can kill people, then I'm down.
Yes, but there you go. Item 4. Fuck me, this is another one. This is one I don't want to talk about. Microsoft likely to face objections from the EU to see its $68 billion deal to acquire Activision. The EU is reportedly planning to submit a statement of objections to Microsoft regarding its acquisition of Activision Blizzard. Sources familiar with matter told Reuters that Microsoft is likely to receive an EU antitrust warning regarding its $68.7 billion acquisition of the Call of Duty and World of Warcraft publisher, added to the growing list of organisations raising concerns about the deal. What's everyone's thoughts? Bobby and Ciaran use all the Xbots. Do we still think it's going through?
It's not going to change anything. It's going to happen. It's they can give concerns all they want. I don't see anything happening between now and when it goes through.
I honestly don't even know what I'm reading anymore when I read about it. I'm just sitting looking at going, sorry, what? What's the EU doing? We're unhappy about it.
That's what it's like. When you're reading that there, it's like they're giving them a warning. It's like when you tell your child off, this is your last warning. But it's not going to be their last warning.
Yeah, it's like objections to that. But there's companies that there is obviously companies taking chirping up and disagreeing about it. I think it'll still go through. I'm not too sure really what's happening with it. It's just a bit of a faff now, and just hearing about it constantly is getting extremely old. Don't get about you guys, but everywhere you see it, it's just about something else happens in this. What's your thoughts, Bobby?
Pretty much just the same as you. It's getting boring. Hearing all the talk that we don't even understand, all the legal talk. It's going to go through. It's just going to just back and forth because it's such a big deal. It's just fucking boring now, isn't it? Just want to fucking hurry up and go through and get all these games out in Game Pass.
And while we're talking about Microsoft, because we talked about this 2 weeks ago, I want to bring that into item 6, which I'm going to do a bit of a change in. So there's been layoffs at Microsoft. So amidst news of a mass layoff of 10,000 people at Microsoft, a number of employees at Xbox Game Studios, the Coalition, 343 Industries, and Bethesda Softworks are learning their jobs are being impacted. Specifically, layoffs hit the Coalition, which is responsible for the Gears franchise, as well as an upcoming new IP. 343 Industries, which has been working on ongoing support for Halo Infinite, and Bethesda, working on the upcoming Starfield. It is not yet clear specifically how the layoffs impacted any of these projects or how people from each studios were affected. Now, typically what companies do anyway is if a game's done, you start kind of clearing house to a certain degree. You know what I mean? The people they don't need. So with Bethesda, obviously you're looking at Starfield, really wrapping up, I'm guessing, on that front.
This is access employees that they don't need anymore.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. It's tough to say, like, because obviously it's people losing their job, but there was clearly they employed a lot more people over COVID.
Seen that with 40,000
working from home. Yeah, so from 2020, they had 163k workers, and within that, the 2022 they jumped up to 221. They went up 40k, and then they've dropped down to 211 now. So it's expected. It's not even just Microsoft. There's loads of companies that have come out there, even today and yesterday, that they've let a lot of people go. Something to do with the recession that's coming, so they're getting the numbers down. But it is what it is, isn't it?
Obviously, Starfield's wrapped up. You've got people there, yeah. So most likely
they don't need them.
Coalition. What could happen there? Could it be the Gears trilogy?
I don't know. I think they're going to do a clear out, but they'll probably end up merging and improving in places, because if you think about how Halo was received there and sort of let down the Xbox, even though sort of people are coming around now and saying, it's doing all right, but it never done well. It was never received well. Maybe they're just sort of going to condense it down and bring rather than having multiple studios, they're going to sort of bring in the best of who does what best, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean there? So if you think, let's say Starfield and Halo, they're probably going to end up being similar games in some aspect of the open worldness.
Always feels.
Out of this. But what I'm trying to say here is, if you imagine, let's say there's 1,000 in 343 and there's 1,000 in Bethesda. If they take out 500 each and keep the 500 best performing in each team and put it together as one, you're going to get.
Think with that, and I'm not trying to bash
343 and Bethesda are going to merge?
No, I think what they're going to do is they're going to keep the best of the best. I'm not saying they're going to merge and become 343 Bethesda. What I mean is they're going to end up working off the same projects, or working on and working between each other to get the best out of the best, if that makes sense.
I think what you're thinking is very much like see, I think what you're getting confused is the way Activision had it, where it was like, we'll bring this team in to work on Call of Duty. They'll not take 343 off Halo. They'll not take Coalition away from Gears. Those studios are kind of set in their own projects. Now, if you're thinking about, we'll take a lead designer.
Was that not something that was announced today, though, where it says something along the lines of 343 Industries will no longer make Halo games?
No.
That was, I sent it in to you about 2 hours ago.
So 343.
It's claimed that 343 will be taking a backseat in the development of future Halo games.
Who said that?
That was sent out on the post. Let me grab it here. According to Halo leaker, he's called Bathrobe Spartan, who has a solid track record of recording leaks from Halo inside information.
Right, that's not true though, Ken. It's rumors. Put in the rumors section.
But that, I'm only saying off but it only came out, is what I'm saying. Do you know, if even the layoffs are rumors.
Could they go off the backseat of Halo? Yeah, but then who do you have doing Halo games?
Id Software.
Fuck, could you imagine? Id Software doing Halo? Here, I wouldn't be against it. The Doomslayer and fucking space.
That's the sort of thing I'm thinking about. Do you know what I mean? If you bring Halo into a certain engine, or if you do this, or they start sort of merging them in, or intertwining them, I suppose, rather than
I don't
merging.
think they will. I honestly think that's looking way too much. I honestly think what's happened is they've brought on people over COVID, and then they finished up on wrapping up certain games, and they're thinking we need to get off some people. Rat have just laid off a load of people as well.
Yeah,
So
that's what I was saying. Loads of companies have done it. Loads
Yeah.
of companies overhired during COVID because they're working from home and they had
Yeah.
to make up for it. So this is just getting rid of them, and it's not. It's just the way it is. It's just fucking business.
your woman who done 343, she was head up Bonnie something. Was it Bonnie Clyde or fucking Bonnie and Clyde?
Bonnie Ross.
Bonnie Ross. She's still there,
No, she left due to something to do with her family.
right?
Back in maybe August or something, September or something like that.
I don't know.
So you had Joe. Is it Joseph Statham?
Jason, mate.
Jason?
Jason Statham.
Is it?
Jason Statham.
No, not him,
transporter.
you fucking ball bag. Fucking. He was brought back a couple of years ago. He worked on the original ones.
Right.
He was like he came back to kind of lead the team. He's left now, and he's actually moved on to Xbox Game Studios publishing team.
Right.
He was brought back to see the end of the Halo, make sure it went through smoothly, the launch, and he's moved on now. So like he's gone.
I haven't even
And
touched single player
a
Halo.
load of these workers that have got the boot from 343 are claiming bad management and stuff, and that's why the game's the way it is.
I would fucking believe bad management. The game was. You bear in mind, guys. The game was announced to be released the year prior, and they delayed it for a year, and it still came out unfinished.
Right.
You know what I
It's
mean,
mad.
Bobby? Anything to add to that?
No, I mean the game itself. I haven't done the campaign. Apparently, the campaign's quite good. But
The
the
campaign looks
setback, setback from that was there was no co-op at launch, and to me that is Halo is co-op. Like it's same with Gears. It's better when it's co-op. The multiplayer was fantastic when it came out.
I like
it
it.
was
I
just-
play that. Remember we played it?
I got into it a good few months ago when I was playing it every night, and I fucking loved it. And then the main reason why I failed is because the battle passes were lasting 6 months, and then it was 9 months. Just didn't have the content to push out. And a game like that, like Call of Duty and things like that, there you need constant. People are feeding off it.
Yeah.
You know, you need new maps, you need new modes, and that it just didn't have it.
So Splitgate's getting a sequel, isn't it?
Yeah, they've stopped any more further development on the original, and they're doing a new one.
So Splitgate is probably one of the best new multiplayer games that I've played in the past few
Aye.
years.
We
So if
played
they make a
quite a
Splitgate
bit.
2 and it's fucking next gen ready, 120 FPS, do you think that'll do better than Halo does? The Splitgate already had a big boom, remember?
Aye.
It was
Started
kind of like that kind of your starter with all the Halo people that's just waiting on Halo to come. A lot of people got into it, like myself. I was playing it and I loved it. Like I thought it was brilliant.
Those
But I
portals
thought
were
it was
class.
actually it was better for me because it was more fast paced. Halo's a wee bit more slower.
Yeah.
I like being able to sprint about, and you know, like, I would prefer close quarters because when I tried the big team battle on Halo, I didn't really gel with it. But the wee 4v4 arena mode, I did
Mm-hmm.
because it was a wee bit more close. So I like a bit more fast paced. I think that's why Halo never clicked with me. But I did enjoy it there the months that I was playing it.
I know. I like Halo. Halo's great.
It's not a bad game. They've got the mechanics and all that. Like I think it plays really, really well. It just doesn't have the content there. It should have been delayed another year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll leave that to be. But yeah, I think we'll agree. It's basically it's just because I hired a load of people. So item 5, Returnal has been announced to release next month on PC. PlayStation has announced that its once PS5 exclusive Returnal will finally arrive on PC on February the 15th. Announced in a PlayStation blog post, fresh details on the long-awaited port have finally been released, with developer Housemarque announcing NVIDIA DLSS and AMD FSR support. What are the thoughts there? Now, obviously, we all have PlayStation 5s. We have played Returnal, me and Bobby, anyway. Anyone ready to jump back in?
Me.
Why don't you play it on PlayStation?
I'm going to play it on PC
Why?
just because.
I think not to play a fucking PlayStation.
Aye, pretty much. Xbox.
I tried it. I played it. Obviously, when it first came out, I bought it for 70 noob. Played it. Got to like second level. Played it again recently, and it is very good, but it's almost
Class.
like I just can't be bothered again. I was playing it.
It's
like,
hard.
It's hard, yeah, but it's kind of like
It's hard.
I don't know if it's just the kind of the area. Then actually, I don't know. Like I can imagine people saying this and the sound and all this class, but it didn't gel with me. Like the
No,
areas and the atmospheres, it's like meh.
it did for me. I really liked it. I couldn't get past the second boss after a couple, and I think I sunk maybe about 9 hours into it.
Mm-hmm.
And the second boss was just a bastard. I tried playing with a couple of people online, not that I knew, like just sort of matchmaking. It's good crack, but it does up the difficulty when you're playing with someone else.
Maybe me and you should give it a go. I actually would happily.
I was actually going to text you earlier, said, do you fancy giving Returnal a go on the co-op? Because I do want to get back to it. I think maybe playing with someone that you're constantly communicating with them might be a bit better because you couldn't speak to the other people, like so.
And maybe it would be a good bit of fun actually to give it a go and see what we think.
Yeah,
well, part of me.
I did enjoy it. So that I really did enjoy it. No, I'm down to download it.
But do you want to hear in the back of my head right now?
What?
Play Gotham Knights now. Play Gotham Knights.
Here, I tell you what. If you want it, you bet. I'm not buying it at full price.
Full price of 30 FPS. I don't know.
It's just like we've got Forspoken next week and Dead Space. I'm pretty sure I'm going to buy Forspoken.
Yeah, I'd rather
play. My head now.
If Forspoken's good, I'd rather play that. But then if you're buying Forspoken, then I'm thinking, why would not just wait for Dead Space? Because I know Dead Space has the likelihood to be much better. So let's see Returnal. Returnal was on the NVIDIA leaks. I was looking through the NVIDIA leaks. Do you know how much stuff has actually been confirmed from it?
A lot.
So it's most likely like it's true. So you have Arkham Knight RTX, and I didn't even write any of this down, but there's so much fucking games coming out here. You've got Final Fantasy 9 remake. You've got Christ Team Racing's coming to PC. So that leak must be true.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much fucking coming out. In terms of Returnal, what we'll do, Bobby, is we'll play a bit of multiplayer. I will download it and we'll try multiplayer and we'll see how we do.
We'll touch back on this next week.
Okay, fantastic. Item 7, PSVR 2 launch window titles have been announced. Sony has officially confirmed the launch window lineup for PlayStation VR 2 through March 2023. It includes 13 new titles that haven't been announced for the platform before, including Tetris Effect Connected and Res Infinite. As detailed on PlayStation blog, PlayStation VR 2 will launch on February 22nd, 2023, and more than 30 games will be available on the platform before March comes to an end, barring any unforeseen circumstances. God, I got to read this list, guys. After the fall, Vertigo Games. Let's take it in a chat because me and Bobby's getting the PlayStation VR 2 next month. Bobby, tell me this. You get the VR 2. What is the first game you're playing?
Don't know.
Okay, good chat, guys.
Is The Walking Dead out on day one? I don't think it is.
It is, I believe.
Is it? Well, and if it is, then that's what I'll be playing. There's also another one called What the Bat. Looks quite fun. Baseball one.
So I have a bit of background on this. So after the fall, Vertigo Games, Bobby, this is up your alley, big time. So after the fall is a Left 4 Dead clone almost,
yes.
Set in the snowy kind of backdrop. It was made by the guys who made Arizona Sky, is it? Arizona Sunshine? Yeah, so it was made by those guys. I had bought it on the Quest. It looked horrendous, but it is quite a good game, and it's literally Left 4 Dead. So for someone like yourself, mate, up your alley. Altair Breaker by Third First. I have never played that. Don't know if any of you guys do. We've got Before Your Eyes by Skybound Interactive. Never played that. Skybound, are they more like, they're the guys who obviously own The Walking Dead now, don't they?
I'm familiar, yeah.
Yeah, Skybound, let me double check that, but I'm pretty sure Skybound came in after and saved Telltale.
Yeah, Walking Dead games.
They are, guys. I know my stuff. Cities VR. Cities is actually a great game if you like the likes of SimCity and so on. I've never tried the VR mode. Cosmonious High by Alchemy. Creed Rise to Glory Championship Edition. Now, I haven't played that, but I played a boxing game on the Quest and I fucking puffed you out big time. Here's one. The Dark Pictures Switchback. Supermassive.
This is like the Until Dawn one. Do you remember that? You were on like a roller coaster.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so this is like that, but it's Dark Pictures.
Ah, okay.
Same people. So it was actually quite good, apparently. I played it on the PSVR, actually. Yeah, so I'm going to buy, I think I might buy about 3 on launch, maybe 4.
Demio, which is that's like a board game. We had it on the Quest.
My fave.
Yeah, it's a very good game. You have Dishrania, Chronos Alternate by My Dearest. Don't have a clue about that. Fantavision 2020X by Cosmo. Then GT7, free update, the PS5 version of GT7. PS5 free update, the PS5 version. That's pretty cool. Like, you don't have to pay a penny for that. That's actually fantastic. Horizon Call of the Mountain. Bobby, are we getting Horizon? That's like your big. To be fair.
Do you? And I think we'll have to, because it's going to be one that's going to showcase everything that it can do.
Like, that's
so. But the question is, do am I going to have to go and play an Horizon game first?
Nah.
Because I will if I have to.
No, I don't think you do. I don't think you do at all.
I don't think it's related to Aloy or anything, but I think that's going to have to be one that we'll try out for review, because it's going to showcase everything it can do. Similar to how Astrobot done for when the PS5 launched.
Yeah. Job Simulator.
I think this is a
cracking games.
Yeah, Job Simulator. And then you have Jurassic World Aftermath, which is story-based, I believe. It looks a bit ropey, to be fair.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Kayak VR, Mirage.
Seen that one?
Seen that. I was like, okay.
Fucking kayak and stuff.
Sit on your living room floor.
No, go in the bath and just getting a fucking something to sit on the bath. You've got Kasuna AI. We've got The Last Clockwinder, The Last Brigade, Moss 1 and 2 remaster, which they're supposed to be fantastic.
They are meant to be very good.
NFL Pro Era, No Man's Sky. Next one we've played, and I actually say it's probably one of the best VR games, Pavlov VR. Very, very good. It's a lot like Counter-Strike kind of setup. Fantastic. Pistol Whip, which I've played. Pistol Whip's basically John Wick, the game. You are standing, and what happens is you move as a character, and whilst you're moving, people are shooting at you. But then the bullets are in like slow motion, so you start like ducking and weaving while shooting back. But then it gets faster, and you're fucking sitting there like a madman in your living room. Puzzling Places, and then probably honestly I would say this is what I'm going to play. RE Village, big time. And I believe 4's getting the update as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
Oh boys, I will be 100%. Bobby, you would shit yourself playing this.
That's one that I would maybe have to stream.
Scream?
For the screen too. But maybe have to do like some sort of recording of that, me playing that.
Res Infinite, which is like a music rhythm kind of one. I have it. Song in the Smoke. Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy, which is story based, I believe. Synth Riders, which is another rhythm game. The Tale of Onogoro. Tentacular. And then I'll be honest, Tetris Effect. Have you any played that?
Not on the VR, but I've played it on the Xbox.
Oh, Tetris Effect's so good.
It's quite cool. Music and all's class on it. Very good.
I used to hate Tetris as a kid, and then there was like a phase I went into maybe about a year and 2 years ago where I just kept playing Tetris, and I was like really into it. And then I started watching like professional Tetris matches, and I was like, this is just...
That's insane, isn't it?
But the thing is, you watch these games and stuff, and it's like, oh, we understand it on a very basic level, but when people who actually play it, it's a whole different kind of dichotomy. It's, the next level. Think about even racing games.
Yeah.
Thumper, which is another music kind of game. The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, Chapter 2 Retribution, Vacation Simulator, What the Bat, and then finally Zenith The Last City. Pretty upgrade. So Bobby, you have no idea what your first game's going to be?
Could be Horizon. Thinking about it, to test all the tech out, because I think that's going to be one that shows everything. So,
and you've never really played VR, have you?
Like, not probably. I've played things here and there, so I'm really excited for this one.
What I hopefully it can do is bring my PlayStation just into the kitchen and hook it up that way. I'll be happy. Because obviously having the PC, the thing with VR in here in my bedroom, it's not a lot of space. I used to actually play the VR at the Quest in the kitchen, but I got really lazy.
I'll be all right in the bedroom. We have quite a big bedroom, so we have our own TVs and stuff. So,
what, in the same bedroom? One you've got your.
It's the bed. It's my. Oh, it's massive.
Wait. Wait. Let me understand this. Someone goes into your bedroom and they see two fucking two TVs.
Isn't her TVs?
You see, I'll show you.
Are you gonna lift the TVs out? Oh. Here's my 50-inch TV.
It's the bed.
I could just see blur. This is where the magic happens. And I could just see you. So that's one TV, yeah. Mate, that's weird. Mad. That's weird. But someone back me up on that. That's weird.
That is weird.
It is weird.
Here, love, what show you watching tonight? I'm turning my back here.
What? No, yeah. I have my side of the bed's there, so I have a big open space in front of me where I can slide my gaming chair in or whatever. and then I have my TV and my own unit, with all my toys and stuff, and then she has her unit at the end of the bed.
Right. I'll be devil's
Yeah.
advocate. I'll be devil's advocate. Okay. Lindsay doesn't really watch TV. She just sits on her phone. If that was the case, I would probably do that. But it almost seems like an absolute fucking nightmare as well. Just now, if you have a big room, fair enough.
The room's massive, like it's literally the whole length of the
Stop
house.
bragging, then, mate. Jesus Christ.
All right. Come
Like,
on,
We have our own TV.
I fall out of bed
She
in the
wa-
bathroom.
No, she watches. She would watch quite a lot of TV at bedtime. So like we'll have our own TV. She has her
Okay.
own one. I have mine.
It's strange. But
I think it's quite cool.
It's strange, but I can understand it because it's something I would do.
Yeah.
But it's strange to walk in a room and go, "Oh, you have two TVs here."
Like if your bedroom was twice the size and Lindsay watched a lot of TV, when you have like,
Yeah,
right,
no,
I'm
that's
just
what I'm
gonna
saying.
have that.
I probably would.
I'm
Yeah,
taking the OLED. You're going to have this other one.
yeah, like yeah.
Love the way it
I
works.
can see your reasoning. I'm just saying it's still people would think it's weird.
Both TVs are the same size as well, like so it's not like it doesn't look out of place or anything.
Same figure like you'd have a TV and you have maybe a monitor in your room of your PC, so it's maybe not too weird, but
I see. I have this top of the. So we're in the. So our house is 3 stories. So we have the very top where it's just like one room, the whole size of the house.
Ah,
and
yeah.
that's
So
the-
roof space sort of
so,
thing.
and then I have my wee. This is like I'm like Harry Potter, but I'm on top of the stairs. We square where my gaming computer is. So I have this wee bit, and then I have my gaming area in the room. All my toys and stuff.
I had a
And then
when I was growing up, I lived in a 3-story house and the top fucking floor was massive, to be fair.
Yeah.
But look, Lindsay does watch TV, so I know for a fact if I really want to watch TV and Lindsay wanted to watch TV and it was that much of a problem, I would say, well, I'm just going to buy another TV so you can leave me alone.
Yeah.
But people, it is still weird. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think it's weird. But if you think it's weird and you're listening to this podcast, send an email in to radiopod@gmail.com.
Like all the kids have their own TV and all too.
But they don't. Well,
But they don't all not in the same room. Like,
There's 2 in each room and 2 in each room. So one they have.
tell me this: how many of your friends have a his and hers TV, mate?
Doesn't matter. Listen, I'm not sharing a TV.
I get
I'm
that.
certainly.
But you're probably sitting
I
watching that
get where you're
TV,
coming
busting
from.
for a fart because you don't fart in front of your bird.
It doesn't matter.
Poor man.
I like being, just I have the choice. I can lie in bed and play the PlayStation, or I
Do you
can
have a
sit in the
gaming room
chair.
as well?
I did. It was one of the kids had this top room before. We're all 4 of them, but we wanted to split them up as we're getting a wee bit older, so they have a room each. So I did have a whole room for gaming, but
Right,
we
okay.
moved. So the agreement was if we moved up here, that I have my own part of the room.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
That'll end
Makes
up.
more sense.
I don't blame you, by the way. But
Mm-hmm.
if I would say if you said to 10 people who don't watch TV a lot or play games, is that strange? I would say a good 9 of them would say yes. Okay. Item 8. Forspoken review codes not sent out to multiple outlets by Square Enix. So multiple gaming websites have revealed they have not received Forspoken review codes ahead of its review embargo on Monday, January 23rd, as concerns mount over the Square Enix game's quality. Staff members from various gaming sites, along with prominent YouTube game critics such as SkillUp, have revealed they hadn't received code for the game despite reviews set to go live just one day before its January 24th release. Many have spoken out about the lack of codes, with SkillUp calling it a huge red flag. Hit me with it, Bobby.
Hey,
Aye, go ahead.
Me?
when was the last time this happened? Last time this happened was Cyberpunk.
No.
Similar situation where they didn't. Well, what their situation was they
Console
didn't
codes?
get console codes. So this is just lack of codes in general.
Yeah, which is strange. Usually what they would do though is to put the embargo, like I remember Doom. This was a surprise because Doom 2016, the embargo was on the day off and everyone was like, this game's going to be fucking shit. And then boom, it was great. So
There's a game recently that done something like that as well. They got the game like really last minute. I can't
don't get
remember
it.
what it was.
It is very strange. Like,
Do you
just
think it's
how
because
was the demo received? I haven't played it, to be fair.
bad?
I remember hearing good and then that was just on Reddit and then I went to YouTube and it was kind of like, I don't really, I
It
didn't.
was, sorry, no, it was the performance of it was quite bad on the PlayStation. But apparently the Valor passed it, or they're either going to patch it to make it better.
Let's have a
Well,
look. Skill up
the-
Forspoken.
PC specs you sent us through earlier or the other day, Ciaran, are quite beefy.
Yeah. That's what I don't know. It's just if something like that happens, there's normally a reason why something like that happens, and it's normally because they're
I
going to lose
think
money.
maybe we're looking into it. So for Spoken, Skillup did a video 4 months ago, and the main headline was "Forspoken hasn't fully sold me, but I'm interested." So it's not exactly like, oh, he didn't like the demo of it. We're gonna try to avoid giving it to him. Maybe it's just awkward with codes. Like YouTubers don't always get the game, but obviously Skillup's very high up. Like he would get most of them. You know what I mean? So it's kind of strange when you think about it that way. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Like that's actually the same studio, Ciaran, that made Final Fantasy 15. This is their next game.
Square done anything like this
Was
before.
Final Fantasy 15 not broke when it first came out?
It wasn't broke.
With bugs?
No, well, probably a bit buggy, but it was well regarded. Like in terms of, I think it was like a good solid 8. Let me just check. So it was Fantasy 15 Metacritic, just to have a wee look. Yeah, like it landed at 81%, so it wasn't really bad. I wasn't a fan of the game, to be honest with you. So Bobby, you're interested in this game though. Why does it have you interested?
From the trailers that I've watched, I haven't actually played the demo, and I think it kind of put me off when they says that the performance was always bad, so I didn't even want to put that taint in my mouth. But I think
Do you know what a
the
taint
whole,
is, by the way?
Hmm?
Do you know what a taint is?
What a taint?
Yeah, what an actual taint is in the human anatomy.
I know what it means in my head.
So it is a term used to refer to the perineum, the region of the human body between the testicles or vagina and the anus.
Gooch?
The gooch? So you don't want to put the gooch in your mouth?
I don't.
That's exactly. So there you are. Just thought I'd highlight it to you.
No, I thought it's like a normal person getting teleported or whatever that happens into this kind of strange world, and then she gets bars and stuff. I think that's quite cool.
I actually have avoided
this
it,
week.
which might be a good thing because sometimes when I watch stuff, I burn myself out and I don't want to even look at it. So you're going to buy it on Monday or Tuesday?
I'm pretty sure I'm going to buy it. I have it in my head. I'm going to buy it.
What'll make you not bet?
If it's below a 7.
Oh, 7. See, this is where the people rate a game of 7 is bad, but 7's
Yeah,
good.
it's not. 7's good. That's what it bugs me about reviews now. Oh, this game's 7. Oh, shite. It's not. 7's fucking good.
It's just become too picky, to be honest with you, mate.
There's plenty of games I like that like fucking love that are terrible on Metacritic.
Such as
Evolve being one of them. From
yeah.
last year. I
Evolve
loved
was
that
very
game.
good. I enjoyed it.
I loved it, and it got critically. It was shit. Apparently, everybody said, but I fucking thought it was fantastic. So I like the look of it, and I think if it's scoring above 7s, maybe 8s. If it scores fucking 8s, I'll be happy. I'll be buying it straight away. Like,
See, the reviews scoring's all broke. So if I look at something at 8, I'm like, oh, it's almost not great. But then you're like, why is that?
You
It's
have
just-
that in your head now that if it's not a 9 or a 10, oh fuck, that's not very good, is it?
Yeah, it's
But
actually
that shouldn't be the case, because there's
No.
plenty of games obviously you've played recently that you've enjoyed, and you maybe would say they're 7,
yeah.
and you thought they're good.
And then there's games I play at 10, and I'm like, you guys are nuts. This is not. It's the most broken.
Elden Ring being one of them.
Yeah. To be fair, I would say an Elden Ring. Elden Ring is a good 8.5 in my book, but I played it wrong. I would 100% say I played that game wrong than most people because I guided it and I probably shouldn't have, and I burnt myself out. But
If we beat Dark Souls, you should beat Elden Ring.
I would play it again. If I want to play it again, I'd play it on PC. You know what I mean? No, actually, that's kind of where I would be most interested. But I almost feel like if I play it now, because I've done that first kind of area, Lingrave, I'm not joking about 3 or 4 times.
Why don't you just blip past through that,
Is
or
that
just
too hard?
continue on?
It's too
Why
hard.
don't you just
I might just continue
why
with
don't
my
you just
save.
continue? Because you got into the. Did you get into the city bit?
What's
you're
save?
near
What's
there?
that?
You got past like this big sort of salamander fucking dragon thing. You beat that, didn't you?
I'm up in the big, up in the sky. I'm near the end.
Where the fire giant is,
I know. It's somewhere in the something of the
and the
giants.
mountains.
Yeah.
Mountains. I go back onto it.
I know.
You're not
mate.
that far.
You know what? I
You're
may
not that far.
because we've been talking about it, and if I'm not that far, I may as well
There's
go. and finish
bosses
it.
that you need. I'm sure you've seen fucking Millennia.
I've heard
I'm sure you've seen.
horror stories.
I want you to fight it. That's what I was looking forward to hearing your thoughts on.
Why have
I'll
the
take me
fucking
2
sword?
2 nights.
You had fucking
2
magic.
nights. 2 nights.
There was actually bosses in Dark Souls 3 that I just couldn't beat. Like, just couldn't beat. Name was King.
So, but
Yeah.
no, I do think you should see it through. You've beat the rest of them, so why not?
You actually may, because I'm in the mood to play. I was going Sekiro, but how do you have that? I may just jump into that and do what, Bobby?
Just finish
Fair play
it.
to
You're not
you.
far. If you're in the mountain bit, you're not that far off the end.
Yeah, I may as well actually.
You know, if you linear path it.
That's what I
Get that
needed to
out.
do because I just kept looking for everything and it ruined it for me.
Well, Millennia is optional. That's one you'll have to do. Like
Dear God, I get nervous.
With no armor and a broken sword.
naked.
God, there's actually like these bosses down in. There's 2 gargoyle bosses down in the fucking
Yeah.
bottom thing. They keep fucking wrecking me.
Yeah. Oh, I
Two
thought they were
cat-like
peace.
creatures.
And using magic, it's cheating.
Stop saying magic, mate. I'll fucking hammer you with my magic wand if we were a duel.
Well, fucking go to PvP with 2 swords, son.
Do you know what actually would be really fun? Is playing it on PC with the mod that you can just do fully on co-op.
I'm not big in co-op. I know you like it. I'm just like, it's just not.
I love co-op. I love a good co-op game.
It's that long, mate. You and Ciaran would love it because Ciaran loves talking. He's like Ciaran literally said to me, "If you're playing, just ring or call me on the PlayStation while you're playing your game." Like I get thinking nothing worse when I'm playing a game. I'm just kind of zoning out. Do you know what I mean?
No, I think like say Elden Ring. I think that'll be class. Just going through open world or fucking just full on co-op with that mod.
I can be tempted with Elden Ring. I'm not going to go to the
Do
start
it.
again because there's so much. I'll just start where I was and just finish it.
Continue on. You know the game mechanics, same as fucking Dark Souls, but better.
Right. So in terms of rumors, there hasn't been much this week. To be honest, I've been keeping an eye on things. There really has only been one that I'll touch on, and it's actually more about Konami again. So Metal Gear Solid rumors increase with the voice actor of Raiden, Quentin Flynn. So there's a guy on Twitter had messaged them saying perhaps a Metal Gear Rising 2, along with the rest of the upcoming Metal Gear showcase, might just make it. Quentin replied, "Stay tuned for things to be announced in the coming weeks. Wink face." So there you go, guys. I am just to kind of not going to go into too much detail because we did talk about this last week or 2 weeks ago about Metal Gear. It's going to be happening then. It's kind of getting the vibe, and obviously they're drumming up about Silent Hill.
I'm more excited for a remake.
Of what? One
Metal Gear
2,
Solid
3?
1.
Remake or
One's-
remaster?
Pardon me,
Remaster.
Like, do you want like a Resident Evil 2 style remake?
No, because then it takes away from the game, I suppose, like a remaster, if you want to call it that, because it's a game that I played right up until a certain part. Well, there was 2 discs on the PlayStation. Am I right in thinking that? There's a couple of
I
discs.
believe it was multi-disc. Yeah. Did you play Metal Gear Solid 1?
I played Metal Gear Solid 1 up to a certain point and then just stopped.
I see my cousin lent me it. I was very nostalgic for that game. Like very like it's you say Metal Gear Solid 1, I just remember me as a kid watching it and playing it, and then had the special missions and all. But would you just not? Did you never touch Metal Gear?
No, I don't think so.
So I know you're a Protestant, Bobby, and I'm sorry to any people who don't understand what a Protestant is. It's basically these people who are a bit strange over in Northern Ireland. But I was christened. I had a christening in P7, and you get money for it, which is very strange. Like you have your christening and people give you money. So it's like an extra birthday. And I bought Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance with it in P7. But like I've always grew up with Metal Gear games. But then they did do Twin Snakes. So they've already remade it. So if you think about Resident Evil 2 remake, they didn't go and remake Resident Evil 1 because it already had a GameCube remake. So do you think they'll do the route of skipping 1 and going to 2?
And 3. Mm-hmm.
And maybe bringing Twin Snakes over? Because that would make more. It would make sense with them if they're trying to mimic what Capcom done. Because they just ignored 1, didn't need an up-resing.
Mm-hmm.
And on that
They've
point,
done a good job, like, to be fair, with 2 and 3.
they've done. I think they've done phenomenal. They
class.
really honestly have. Like
I don't enjoy the gameplay of them older ones, but I don't like the camera and all that other kind of crap. Don't like it.
you should give 2 a go. Like 2 is fantastic. What is it you didn't like with that?
I just don't like I don't like the movement or anything. I don't know what it is about it. But
Yeah.
I tried it because like zombies, like Resident Evil, them kind of Resident Evils wouldn't scare me.
Yeah, I think I beat it in like 4 hours. I beat the first one in 3 hours.
Until like your mom would start chasing me, and then I'd probably nope out. But
Yeah, that's scary.
the more newer ones would be more kind of tense because it's more first person and things they got.
Yeah.
I mean, I started Village, and I think I started it. It was maybe 15, 20 minutes in with all like the werewolf kind of people, and then I was just I couldn't do anything. I'd no ammo. I was like, no, fuck this, and I just fucking took the disc out and sold it.
Oh my god.
Deleted it.
7 in VR was fucking spooky, all right. But yeah, Metal Gear Solid. I think that's the kind of the question is what do they do? So on that NVIDIA leak, it was Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 HD for PC. So you can.
Yeah, it's coming then, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's on that leak.
they're on 360, Ciaran and Bobby, or on the Series X. I have them. I bought them, and they're very much playable. Like Metal Gear Solid 2 is still fantastic, but at this stage, you guys are probably better just waiting, just playing a remix. To be honest with you,
Yeah,
I find it hard to go back to old games.
I don't.
I don't know. I'm fine.
But you are old, aren't you?
Wow.
Wow.
That'll be
No, I do find it hard to go back to older games when especially when the gameplay just isn't there. It's not what you remember.
See,
I get
that's
what
me
you're
and
saying,
I'll
yeah.
have this conversation. I actually think I enjoy older
more
games
retro- retro games.
Than what I'd actually sit and play a new game. They're
simpler, like, aren't they?
But it's not. I find myself going back and playing N64 games or SNES games more than what I would actually be excited for a new game coming out.
Mm.
And I think it's because you actually get to play the game. It's not going to be broke. Do you know what I mean? Or it's not going to be rushed. Or it's not going to be. It's
There's
a
no
game.
updates or anything back then. You got the cartridge and you got what you were given.
They're more
Pay the
straightforward.
unlock stuff and
It worked.
No, they're more straightforward. See these open worlds, honestly. Do you know? I hate getting lost in games. I like structure. So a lot of these games, it is like I remember being even Silent Hill 2 to touch on the point earlier. Silent Hill 2, I remember back in the day thinking, oh, I don't know what to do. There's so much kind of puzzles and all. You literally go to one area and you can't leave that one area until really, you're in that one area until you progress. Whereas now you can go into one area and be like, fuck, am I in the right place or whatever? So yeah.
I like an open world, but it needs to have all the wee check marks and all that. I like going and saying, right, I have fucking 7 fucking eggs going fine or whatever, and it shows me kind of the rough area where they are and things like. I like doing all that kind of stuff, all the collecting stuff, but
it depends on the way it does it. I think Ghost of Tsushima did it very well, and I liked clearing it out. Whereas then you have something like Breath of the Wild where people are like, "Oh, but you don't know where anything is." I'm just like,
yeah,
that's just frustrating. Like, I don't like the idea that I'm just missing all this stuff that is somewhat interesting. You know what I mean?
I like God of War. It's more like a semi-open world, though, isn't it? It's not full on.
Yeah.
But I like that.
So, Bobby, you had a question for Ciaran. Did you get your question for Ciaran this week?
oh dear.
Yes, this is called what's the name of it? I had a fucking cool name for the question of the week. What it was going to be? Something to do with asking an Xbox fanboy something. But anyway, Ciaran, number 1 Xbox fan. Who's your favorite Xbox developer? And what do you think they bring to the table that nobody else does? And you're next now.
Yeah. Is it past and present?
Present.
Present.
Not a present game, just a present developer.
Present developer.
Under Xbox.
It would probably have to be Coalition for Gears. I just think Gears is very fluid. The fluidity is very good on it. No, all jokes aside, the gameplay is fantastic in it. I think the enemies, how it's laid out, the sort of gothic feel to the games are fantastic. Guns and gore, brilliant. I just think they do really, really well with their games when they bring them out. Even I hear that's a game I actually finished last year. Gears 5. Aye.
I think I might have finished it last year as well.
Did
you do Hivebusters?
No.
No, I need to go back. Apparently, that was actually really, really good.
But I like the co-op on it. I think the actual co-op's very good. It just works really well. But it's the whole graphical settings, enemies, gameplay. That would be my probably favorite developer to be on their Xbox.
How do you think they compare to the likes of when it was Epic doing it?
I think Gears 1, 2, and 3 were better. Gears 1 and 2 were better. Because it was a new genre. It was nothing like anything else that was on the marketplace at the time. I think the story was a little bit better. It's got a wee bit sketchy at the minute. When I was playing 5, the story was a wee bit round about the place, but I don't know if that's because I skipped 4 or not.
But I skipped 4?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why.
So
that's 4 that
I gathered that.
Yeah, it carries on the 5. Because this is a new trilogy. 4, 5, and then obviously 6 is going to be coming. But it's like a new trilogy.
trilogy, then there you go. That'd be the reason for that. I just think it was like nothing else on the marketplace when it came out.
I love the old Gears. Do you ever remember the trailer?
Yeah.
It had the song.
Mad
Was it
World?
Mad World?
Mad World.
Class.
I
Love
remember
them
that.
games.
That was like one of the first Xbox games I played, 360. And I always remember Canals and the sniper.
See the sounds if when you get the headshots and all, and then
pop.
when you get that right reload.
Explodes.
Fuck, I might
So
download
good.
that again. I love Gears, like honestly, and I was never even big into it in the 360 generation. But with 4 and stuff, I played it in game. Like obviously we played game basically brought it like there was a contest where you play other stores, and then the winner of all that, or you'd have a finals where you had to go to Los Angeles to play. But then they called it off. I don't think they get enough teams to play. They called it off, and then what happened was they gave us all Xbox controllers and stuff and credit. But it was class. We were actually playing these other teams, and we were fucking shite compared to them. Gears is probably one of. To me, it's the multiplayer. There's not enough people playing it. Then you get the multiplayer right.
Yeah, I didn't even play the multiplayer. I played the co-op, just
Co-op.
the story.
What was
I was
my
down for the
question?
story, and then that was me. Same to you, but Sony.
Why Sony? Why not Xbox?
Because you're on Xbox.
Sony.
You're a pony.
No, well, I'll actually give you 2 for
They're all shit.
for Xbox. Rare probably, just because
Nice.
they're different. I just honestly think for the type of game that Sea of Thieves is, there's really nothing like it. Honestly, and honestly, if you think about the other types of games, there really is nothing like that game. And it's a game I could think, yes, I have problems with it, but it's a game that definitely stands out. And in terms of other Xbox studios, what Coalition, got Free for Free, even Forza team. But who's that? Who's the Forza team? That's Playground.
Turn 10 in Playground.
Turn 10 does the
No,
motorsport, and then you
Motorsport.
can Playground for.
This may change if when Playground release Fable, I might think fucking right. Or I would probably maybe think id Software, to be honest with you, in terms of Doom and stuff. But I like Doom 2016 more than I like the Doom Eternal. But I'd probably say for Xbox, the best developers you got at the moment is Rare. And that's saying
I think
something because
they've done a great job with Sea of Thieves, like compared to when it came out to now.
I would love to see what
all
they
the
could
updates
do.
done.
Like, how do you make it better? There's obviously things that you can do there. In terms of PlayStation, it gets a bit tricky.
It's going to be Naughty Dog on that.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think you can dispute, like, personally. I would, if I had to rate them right, I would say Naughty Dog is number 1. Naughty Dog is PlayStation's best studio. Hands down, in my opinion, right?
Sony Santa Monica.
Sony Santa Monica. Maybe, yes, Santa Monica.
Has to
Third?
be.
Third, who would third be? Now, this is where you go. For me, at the moment,
I have one in my head.
who?
You said, and I'll tell it. No, you say it first, and I'll tell you if it's the right one. If it's the one I'm thinking of.
Sucker Punch.
No.
That's who maybe be mine.
See, I like their Infamous game. I haven't played
For Tsushima.
Ghosts.
I
No,
like
I haven't played
Tsushima more than I liked Spider-Man.
Really?
But I like Spider-Man more on the second playthrough. But I still think I've still had problems with Spider-Man. So I would say actually at the moment, I would say Sucker Punch, and then I would say Insomniac. And
I
then
would put Insomniac probably ahead of them.
I could see, like if you said that to me, I couldn't really argue it. I'm just saying personally, just because I loved Ghost of Tsushima.
I think Spider-Man 2 is going to come out, and it's going to be this is going to take them to the top, like,
Plus Wolverine.
in terms of, like, I mean, you look at what they've put out. Miles Morales for the PS5. They put out the remastered. They put out Ratchet and Clank. And the Spider-Man's coming this year, and then Wolverine maybe next year, or the year after. Like, look at their game output compared to anybody else.
And who else? I'm blanking on other teams. Like they obviously have.
You've got Sony Bend, you've got Bluepoint.
Fuck, that's right. They purchased Bluepoint. I had just downloaded the Shadow Colossus there. That's what they had done. I rate Bluepoint.
I would love to see what they would do with their own ideas.
Kieran, do you know Bluepoint? They're the guys who done the Uncharted collection. I'm pretty sure of this. I need to double check. They done the Metal Gear Solid trilogy or the HD collection. Uncharted collection dev. So that's how they kind of cut their teeth. They started doing it was Bluepoint. So they had done the Metal Gear Solid, then they done Uncharted. But then they done Shadow Colossus, which is phenomenal, and Demon Souls in terms of remakes. So I would actually put them probably fifth for me.
they are quite high up, I would say, on the list, like of quality.
Housemarque as well. Obviously, they did Returnal, but they've done
A lot of smaller kind of
which are
indie sort of
really
styles.
good gameplay. Like you
But
can
really
see.
good. Like it was Resogun, I think that was the
Resogun,
PS4 launch
PS4
game.
launch,
Played
yeah.
it. It was quite fun.
Yeah, that's
You
what I
see a
would
lot
say.
of their fucking. You see a lot of their. What's the word? Get their gameplay from Resogun, even in the Returnal.
Mm-hmm.
For you got the wee fucking ship flying around, and then it's got all the different kinds of waves
yeah.
of.
It has the voxels, Fire Voxel base.
Yeah. So.
But Sony's best multiplayer studio. Who?
Bungie.
Yeah, fuck. I'm not a Destiny fan, guys. I've tried it many times. I can't get into Destiny.
I think the shooting and all is phenomenal. I beat the first one.
Yeah,
Big
so
into
did
the
I.
first one. The second one, I played it at the start, and then I was maybe went off it and went back into it, and like the original campaign was gone,
Oh, it's a mess.
and
It is.
it's just kind of all over the place. For new players, it's just I don't think it's there. Like
Destiny 2 for a new player is broken. Like I actually
Yeah,
tried to get
sure.
back into it and I wanted to start again, and you can't even play. So it's not the fault their old content, but they fault the single player story. It's just I've never seen a company do it that way. It's an absolute mess. So what do
oh,
people
see if
say?
you go on the Steam, like, there's like fucking 20 different options to buy of
Yeah.
Destiny, all different ones. You don't what do you do?
There's like Witch King, First Light, and all this shit, and
Yeah,
Shadow Keep. So
there's
people say just jump in the newest DLC. It's the same way you would do
Yeah.
with WoW. I'll just jump in the newest one. Don't worry about the story. It's like, well, but then the story
kinda
behind
want-
those
if you-
Grimoire cards. Remember?
Yeah, if you're going to fucking play the game though, you'd rather get into it because the gameplay and all is really good. The gunplay and all is fantastic. I think. I thought the shooting was always great on it.
I don't like the environments a lot of the time though. I just can't. It's something about it just doesn't vibe with me. I don't know. But apart from that, guys, Bobby, have you any more wonderful questions for us?
No, that's it for this week.
That's it for this week. And there's another.
This is a
long
new
ass-
segment now where Bobby asks us a random question at the end of the show.
Yeah. And if you do think it's weird that Bobby has 2 TVs, feel free to send in your mail at readyuppod@gmail.com. Also subscribe on YouTube at readyuppod and listen to us on TikTok and Instagram at readyuppod. That is all, folks. As Bugs Bunny would say. And that's all, folks. Oh, God. Goodbye.
It's Porky
Bye.
Pig.